hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
I just want you to know that this weekend, I was sent many, many screenshots of Jay Beagle scoring again. It's so apt that he scored, considering what happened with Vancouver the last couple of weeks. The goal was assisted by Antoine Roussel and Louis Eriksson.
Look at everyone thriving. Canucks have won 4 straight. The Coyotes got a goal.
Yeah.
It's equal.
Just got a tweet here, and I've got to check the numbers on this, but apparently Jay Beagle thus far has received $444,444.44 per point he scores on this contract. So,
and that number is going down.
yeah.
Slow down there, Jay. You'll be working for free pretty soon.
Now Steve is holding a package. If you can't see it, I'm just letting you know on the audio side. Now this comes from a good friend of ours with the pension plan puppets, Adam El Celdo. You'll know him as
Mr. Celdo.
And unfortunately, he wanted to send this to mark the birth of Leo. And I'm pretty sure. But he sent it at the beginning of the pandemic, and I've moved a couple times since then. And, the divorce. I'm blaming the divorce. And so I lost it. So now I wanted to at least acknowledge that we have it, and Steve is getting it. Adam, this is for you. I don't know what it is.
He sent this June 27th,
it was June
2020.
Is that all?
Leo turns 18 months in a few days.
There you go.
All right. Well, hopefully.
I think there's a tear off there.
Yeah.
Where?
The top
How does
there.
this work?
Just along the top.
No, what if I just rage it open?
Okay,
instead?
rage it open, man.
What if I just rage it
Oh,
open?
God.
Okay.
Wow,
there we go. So there's many.
What do we got?
Is that a...
It's a really tiny Niagara Ice Dogs onesie
I'm sorry.
nice.
that will certainly not fit.
Yeah, I think that's for babies.
Yeah, I think
And
it's
Leo's
for-
a little older.
Are you saying
than
he's
that.
not a baby anymore?
Leo's a
He's
full-grown
a
man
toddler.
now.
Actually, you know what?
Ever seen Leo dance? He dances like
Try
a
to
man.
put it on him anyway. Just try to put it on him.
This might fit him. It's not exactly winter wear. But
Yeah, but like he just wear it around the house. Doesn't he just roll around in a diaper a lot of the time? You guys just have no pants, no shirt?
Oh, no, because very early on, my wife was like, life hack, baby with no clothes when you feed them.
Oh.
Because what's the point?
What's the point?
What's the point?
That's
Less
a really
laundry.
good... Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here,
What
eat
else
a
is
diaper.
in the package?
Oh, yeah, sorry. So there's more.
Yeah.
There's what I assume is an incredibly heartfelt letter.
You don't have to read it live. I don't imagine that that's what he wanted.
There's a card.
There's a card.
Adam, you're awful.
What are you talking about? I'm great. I delivered the package.
You're right. Oh, a googly eye fell off of the card.
Yeah, it's a global
'cause you ripped
pandemic.
it.
All the very best things it said, and it's a burrito, and it's again something very heartfelt.
Oh.
Because
He probably thinks I'm such an ass.
you guys had that burrito song, too, that you sang to Leo. Did you not? Or you used to call him a burrito?
I used to call him the cry potato.
Cry potato. That's what I was thinking of.
But there was also
Cry
something about a
potato.
burrito, and he also sent me a bunch of really old hockey cards. It's Randy Carlyle with the Winnipeg Jets.
Oh, God.
Ed Oldchuck with the Leafs. Jim Benning.
Jim Benning.
Oh,
that
that's
can't
sick.
be Jim Benning
Let me
with
see.
the Vancouver Canucks. That doesn't look anything like Jim Benning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Let's do a side-by-side.
Yeah, you're going to do it? Okay. Oh, my God. Who else we got? Claude Lozelle, former AGM of the Leafs with the Nordiques.
Yeah.
Ron Tugnut. I think it's just because his name's funny.
Yeah.
Ken Reggett with the Philadelphia Flyers. Darren Pupa with the Buffalo Sabres. Daniel Marois.
By the way, did you know that Jim Benning played for the Leafs, too?
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
that I knew.
I didn't
That
know
knew.
that.
Okay, Adam, I want you to hold this up and point it into that camera.
Okay.
And we're going to have a side-by-side.
Okay.
I can't get really close enough. But still, you can see it. It's him.
Man.
It's him. Thank you.
Also,
So there's a hockey news that I've looked up with Jim Benning Leafs here. And it says, this is an old hockey news from 1982, season preview. Toronto's babes on the blue line. And by babes, they mean babies. Not babes as in babe.
I thought it was like hot guys
they have-
playing defense.
Check
Here's
out
what they
this
have.
rocket.
They have Jim Benning. They have Fred Bromastruck, who I've never heard of.
never.
And Big Daddy Bob McGill. And they're babies. Babes on the blue line.
Hey, here, I don't want to go through every card, but I want to highlight two more. Brendan Shanahan with the St. Louis Blues.
Oh, love that.
Big fan.
Love that.
Big
Good one.
fan. And this goalie, who I guarantee neither of you have even know.
Nope.
This is Marcel Cousineau, with the St. John's Maple Leafs. And the reason this card means a lot to me, and I think Adam knew this, is I was heartbroken because I went to a game and Felix Potvin was ill, I think, so he couldn't play. So Marcel Cousineau played against the New York Islanders, and that's where my mom and I saw him get his first and only NHL shutout.
Wow.
A 2-0 win over the New York Islanders.
Incredible.
I went to a truly unique game.
That's
first
cool.
and only.
That's really cool.
That should make Ken Reed's book.
It made
One
mine,
shutout,
which
one
I thought was
shutout
good
only.
enough.
One shutout only. Is that in your book?
Yes, it is.
Was it sandwiched between two zoo stories?
It was definitely one of the I need to break this book up a bit chapters. So I put it in.
Yeah.
It made sense.
It's
where
nice
I
that
put
you
it.
sprinkled some hockey in there.
Yeah. I thought that was good. Could have used a little bit more podcast, but you know.
Also, what shirt are you wearing?
I'm wearing so the Leafs have been doing too well for me to wear this.
Okay.
And last game against Chicago, I was like, nope, you know what? It's time. So I'm wearing my This Team is Ruining My Life shirt from sdpn.ca.
Nope.
What?
sdpnshop.ca if you want to go
SDPN
directly to the shop.
Dot
you can
shop,
go
dot
to dot store.
sportsnet
You can't go to
store,
sdpn.ca and then click the shop from there, but you can go directly to the shop.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to give our website more clicks.
It's true. We got some news up there. You can watch all of the podcasts in one place.
All kinds.
You don't even have to go to YouTube or podcast app. You can go to sdpn.ca and watch it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure can.
It's a destination.
Absolutely. Like a
believe-
wedding.
Yeah.
I can't believe you had this for.
I know. Listen.
This is almost as bad as Sportsnet recently sent me a package that contained gifts for Iggy and Charlie, who is dead.
Oh.
He's
just a reminder.
Oh.
Your dog died.
I got it like a month ago. Was a reminder of your dead dog.
Was it supposed to go to you before when he was alive, or did somebody just not remember? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Well, because I didn't go to Sportsnet for like 18 months or something like that because he died at the end of June and it was mid-March when all this began.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, but I kept it. It's in the room. It was 2 collars.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
really
that's
nice.
not sad and depressing.
All right.
You should put one on Leo.
Actually, so he likes to take Iggy's collar and wear it.
Oh, actually?
Oh, does
Thinks
he?
it's very funny.
There you go.
He thinks everything is very funny. Kids are the easiest to entertain creatures in the world. I just took his jacket and I put his hood on my head, and it's funny. That's very funny. If you're 18
That's
months
comedy.
old, hilarious.
Well, the thing is, too, Steve, you are funny. So
You just got to have a big clowny, cartoony face.
yeah, for sure.
And do anything.
Yeah. People keep sending me photos or videos of their children watching me on YouTube, and they think it's hilarious because they're like, look at the loud man's big face. That's all I have to do. They don't know what I'm talking about.
The angle you shoot at doesn't help.
Yeah, I used to have Everly watch your videos when I needed her to
This
be quiet.
really close up angle?
Yeah.
I used to have Everly watch. Remember, I used to send you video clips of her just staring at the screen.
Yeah.
She couldn't talk.
Because they know something's going on. This guy's spitting.
Yeah,
This guy,
he's got stuff to say.
I don't know what it is, but it's big. And they just stare at you wide-eyed. And sometimes you get a whimsical smile.
Yeah, sometimes. Now listen, this weekend's game with the Leafs, and also we will get to the Tortorella stuff. Don't worry, Jesse. I've sent you a clip that's a little bit longer. That includes the full segment. I want to dive into it a little bit later. That's okay.
The JT clip.
Yeah, and Ray Ferraro afterwards.
Yeah.
And this clip's been making the circulation. I want to see what you guys think about all this. But in the meantime, I would like to talk about the Leafs.
For once.
So great that they got the win. Great that they were up 4-1. But the game ends 5-4 on objectively a terrible play by a goaltender that just didn't look or feel confident all night long.
A goalie who's not that great and a team that's not that great.
Right.
They're just not that great.
Right.
But they play the Leafs tough. That is a thing.
Every game.
Matchups are a thing, and the Blackhawks always play the Leafs tough.
Yep.
When was the last time the Leafs and Blackhawks played a game that was separated by more than one goal?
It's honestly, I don't know what it is. They seem to bring it though.
Mm-hmm.
Or the
All
Leafs
the
seem to
time.
let them.
Yeah, and there's always something noteworthy in
Yep.
it. The Morgan Riley OT winner in a 7-6 game where Matthews and Kane did the dueling Hulk Hogan pose. William Nylander scoring a penalty shot goal 5 seconds into overtime. Remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
Just, it's dumb. It's dumb. They're two dumb teams when they play each other. They forget everything that makes them smart hockey teams and just be dumb. They're dumb.
They're dumb.
Yeah.
It's kind of dumb.
It's kinda
Now,
dumb.
the goal, that being a lucky goal aside, there was a couple major problems towards the end of the second and early into the third. And I know that, if you really want to see a screen grab of it, you can go to minute 9:30 of Steve's LFR on this one, because you got some screenshots in there that are disturbing. Now we're talking about. We'll start with the Christians Rubens and Justin Hall. Jesse, I can pull it up for you if you want.
So it's a poor read from Rubens. He doesn't.
So what's happening? What's happening in the play?
The Blackhawks are charging in. I don't remember how the play began exactly, but they're charging in. He doesn't adjust quickly enough, and his foot speed is failing him. And Justin Hall, trying to do the right thing, genuinely, does not. He's like, okay, so this kid's going to get beat, so I'm going to completely abandon my man because I think I can beat the attacker to the puck, or I can beat the attacker to the net. I can cut him off before he gets a shot, or I can make it a low percentage one. Instead, what happens is neither get there in time. Like, Hall's, I don't know, maybe a foot ahead of where Rubens ended up. So it's not helpful at all. They're able to make a clean pass to a wide open player who's wide open because Hall abandoned his post.
Do we have it there?
And no,
you want me to pull it
that's
up?
Not even, that's the 4-2 goal.
I was waiting for the next one.
Which is also terrible.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's.
And that's also Hall Muzzin.
Sure.
So let's do the one before that, I think. I think it's at 9:30.
Or not also.
But it's,
sorry, it's
so
also Hall.
It's bad. There's a lot of bad.
There's a lot of bad. Like, a lot of, like, comically bad.
Right.
Not like, you were a little late to this. You were like, look at that. Jesse's showing me the screenshot. It looks like one person. It also looks like I'm trying to eat the
it looks like a two-headed blue monster person.
Yeah.
Who's a little slow and left his man open.
Yeah, it's a Pokemon who, sacrifices a lot of speed for HP points.
Right. 100%, and maybe some power.
Yeah, which you can, you throw a fast Pokemon out there, you can dodge them all you want.
So starting with this, Christian Rubens is, we're finding out what he is. We don't know. We're finding out he's a big hulking defenseman. That's great. What is, I don't want this to become like a whipping boy situation, but there is something genuinely wrong with the way Justin Hall is playing this year. There's a decision making. Is it an injury? Remember, and again, this is not, I'm not bringing this up to say, oh, I'm right, or whatever. Like, Justin Hall genuinely played great with Jake Muzzin last year.
Yeah.
He did. The Leafs protected him because of that, because they believe in this guy.
Yeah.
And listen, I get it. It's 30 games. Small sample size.
Mm-hmm.
But what's happened?
Here's where I'm confused. Because I like to say, and when Justin Bourne came on the Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle stream on Saturday, because we were both critical of Hall, and he would have worked with Hall, I think, with the Toronto Marlies. What I like to say is good players don't just forget how to play hockey. So we had a good conversation about that. What if we saw him at his peak? He was just, everything was clicking for him all at once, and that was the peak of his career, and it's potentially all downhill from there. So that's an option. Also, as pointed out by Leafs Twitter account, I think it's Leafs IMO, he got injured at the end of September, Justin Hall. There was a training camp drill or practice or whatever where he left for the room. Could he still be dealing with something? Maybe. But what about his decision-making? Well, injuries can affect your decision-making.
Certainly.
Remember that season where Morgan Riley essentially did not play a healthy game?
Yeah.
And you're like, why are you doing half of the things you're doing? Well, his feet weren't working the way he was used to. That'll alter your path. That'll alter, you gotta psych yourself up to do things that you would usually just do naturally. I am seeing a bit of that with Justin Hall. But the fact that they're still using him, and they're demoting him, it almost made more sense when they were healthy scratching him. Because, well, it's not that healthy, is it? You know what I mean? There's a lot of guys you could healthy scratch who aren't exactly healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they're keeping him in the lineup to just suffer through this. If he is injured, for the love of God, keep him out. Keep him out. See what Biega's got.
So it's not worth trying to have him play through this.
I don't.
Because that's a lot of inexperience in the back end. You put Biega in there. You've got Liljegren, who does not have a season.
Yeah.
Biega and Rubens,
who
are in
already
their first 5
overtaken
games.
him.
Yeah.
He's already overtaken him, and they have 2 key injuries on the back end, but one of them might be coming back soon with Dermott. So to me, when Dermott's back, I kind of think Hall needs to take a seat.
Over Rubens?
Well, no,
or
because
Rubens over Hall.
Rubens has been sent down.
Yes.
They've recalled Dahlstrom, who had an awful start to the preseason, but then got better. But Dahlstrom's on the left. So it would be, I think the way it would work is Riley Brody, Muzzin Liljegren, and then probably Dahlstrom, Dermott.
Okay.
Dude, you got to try, guys.
Sure.
You
of
gotta,
course. Listen, if we think that there's not going to be injuries in the playoffs, if they want to go on any sort of extended run, you're going to deal with that.
Oh, well, what was I right or was I right? You know, after the Tampa game. They're a good team. They're not good enough. They can't be. This is what we've seen, especially the last couple years in the playoffs with Columbus and with Montreal. You can't be one injury away from disaster at all times. It's just, you're not going to win anything. Not a single damn thing. I'm not saying you need to be mutants, actual from space mutants like the Tampa Bay Lightning, but maybe something a little bit more like the Penguins every single year when they're throwing out construction workers who
roller hockey players
who are able to throw up, like, I don't know, at least a point every 3 games. Like, it's dudes I've never heard of. It's tough. It's a real tough situation that I think is getting worse quickly.
What did you think of Mrazek's plays his first game in a long time?
We can't complain. We can't complain. It wasn't good that he allowed the first shot. He made so many spectacular saves in that game. And when it was 4-1, the Leafs were out shooting the Blackhawks. The Leafs did it in only 14 shots. Out of the Leafs and Blackhawks, the 2 teams involved, one of them gets to complain about goaltending, and it's not the Leafs.
Right.
I thought, this is another thing. Is it the way Mrazek plays, or is it that the 3 games he's played, the Leafs have allowed it to be a complete shooting gallery?
Which they have. Objectively, they have. In the 5 periods he'd played before, it was, I think, what was the out shooting number? It was crazy. It was a big number.
Well, and just the danger.
Yeah.
Like, just the saves. Remember the save that he hurt himself on in his second game that kept him out 42 days? It was it was like a $10 with less than 5 seconds to go in the period. The Leafs play like they hate him. They do. They play like they hate this guy. They want him to suffer and retire early. Like, they hate his groin specifically. Fuck this man's groin in particular. They just, seriously, one day, we're going to hear something go off like a gunshot in Scotiabank Arena, and everyone's going to duck, and it's going to be Mrazek's groin. We're going to realize. They've got to give this guy a break. They don't do this to Campbell every game.
No, they don't.
Sometimes. Mm-hmm. But they don't do it to him every game. Is there an aspect where maybe Mrazek plays a style that forces him to use his groin like that? Maybe. It's possible. But
certainly there is.
I watched him make some friggin' incredible saves against a team that doesn't score. They don't score. The Blackhawks. They have like 2 guys. Hagel has more points than Jonathan Toews. That was Taves' second goal. And I don't think he's missed a game. Like, ooh. Guys, help him. Help him. Help this poor man.
Now, the other defensive zone coverage, Jesse, that you were showing me, that was this
that
goal
was the one at
2?
9:30. Yeah.
That was the one at 9:30. My apologies on that one. So this is also bad, and you need to see this because some of the Leafs' better defensive players are on the ice for this. It's not as though, like, this isn't like, so who is this?
So that clump in front of the Leafs net is Justin Hall, Jake Muzzin, and David Kampf.
Like, those are your defensive guys.
Yeah. That's
1, 2,
your
and 3.
Top defensive center and your shutdown pair. And don't bother looking at this still and trying to figure out which one is which. It doesn't matter because they're so close together that it literally doesn't matter.
And there's your shot number. It's 22 shots for the Blackhawks and 14 for the Leafs, and it's 4-1 on the scoreboard, and it's 3 minutes left in the second period.
At home!
What more do you want from Mrazek?
Rested! Guys! Come on!
I mean, they won.
How is Sandin's next contract going up while he's hurt?
I think it's because he's hurt that it's
Holy
going up.
shit. Like, guys, give it a rest. I don't know what that is in front of the net. I don't know what kind of miscommunication is. But I've started doing this a little bit. I did it a tiny bit last year where I take screenshots and I go, okay, so here's the mistake beginning. Here's how many seconds it takes from this mistake to the puck being in the net. And for this particular screenshot, it's 3.
Oh.
Like, guys, at bare minimum, don't bump into your teammates. Like, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. They forgot. They just forgot. What did they forget? They forgot.
Is it a one-off or is this a trend?
No. This is a trend. This is a trend. Like, come on, Adam.
I'm asking the question.
They should have lost their 4th out of 5. I think it would have been 4th out of 5. And, when at the beginning of their hot streak, I was like, well, they're squeaking out wins. And then the further they got into it, you're like, no, they're not squeaking out wins. They're dominant. Mm-hmm. They're beating teams that they should, which is good. They're finding ways to win in some games. They're getting leads. There's no calamity. The Leafs have not lost a game that they have taken a lead. They have not lost a game where they've taken a lead into the third. This game somehow falls into that group, but they've all been a lot more structured than that. Dude, that's their second game in a week where they almost blew a 3-goal lead. Columbus, they almost blew a 4-goal. Come on. No, it's going in the wrong direction super duper fast.
Is it maybe that they miss Jason Spezza?
It could be. I think it's more likely they miss Mitch Marner.
Yeah. Maybe just a little.
Well, and like Keefe benching Rubens, like the third pair hasn't even been a consideration this year. They've had a rotation, and whoever you throw out there, looks good. Looks good. Oh, Sandin Dermott, looks good. Sandin Liljegren looks good. Dermott Liljegren, I think a couple games, it's fine. Hall got demoted for those few games, it's fine. Hasn't been a consideration, and now they're one injury into, let's call Carl Dahlstrom?
I think so. I believe it's Carl.
Yeah. Let's call it Carl.
Do you want me to check that?
It's Carl.
It's Carl. Okay.
I'm confident.
To take a step back and look at what we're discussing here, it's a very good team at the top of the standings, and the only problems that were really standing out is their second pair defensemen.
That's a big problem.
But it's a very good problem to have. If that's the major complaint, Kyle Dubas is sitting there and saying, yeah, I can solve that by the time the season's end. We got 57-ish games left, I think is the number.
A lot.
There's a lot of time, and there's a lot of season to solve this one problem. It's a problem right now, but it's not that big of a problem because this team is very good, and it's an issue that's solvable.
Better this problem now than in April.
Yeah, also better this problem than problems with your core. Like say your first 2 lines weren't buzzing, and that's the reason they were losing these games, giving up these leads. That's a huge issue.
There's lots of good.
If the reason you're giving up these leads is because your second pair isn't the best, I'm like, I'll take that any day of the week. We were in the first place in the entire NHL a week ago, and we're in a very tough stretch of hockey
where
we're playing every other night versus Minnesota, Winnipeg, Tampa, and the Blackhawks who play us tough. There's 4 games right there that's going to be tough, and it's 5 games in 8 nights.
Yeah,
that's
no
really
small
tough.
thing.
And then now you get you get 2 days off, and then you go on the Western road trip.
And no Jason Spezza.
And no Mitch Marner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Marner
no Sandin. But injuries are a thing, so I don't want to chalk it up to injuries. But the main problem here, but even with Marner out, the lineup's scoring.
Yeah, and on the power
The
play.
offense looks great.
The power play's a problem.
The problem is literally your second pair defenseman, and I look at that and I say, that's solvable. This team is very good.
No,
I agree.
But
No,
the
I
reason
agree.
I brought all this up, guys, is because, and I think, Jesse, you make a great point, but that can't be a problem in April. And any sort of tweak or hit or knee on knee or accidental this or accidental that can put you in this position come April. Because anything can happen during a game.
Yes, but the point is there's so much time till April.
I completely take that point.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, when we're looking at trade deadline, it sure looks like a defenseman's going to be on the order.
Yeah, I think it's got to be before that.
Yeah, why would you wait till the trade deadline?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
They need to be...
Because that's the deadline. I don't know, guys. Between now and the deadline.
They need to be process-oriented, for sure, but they need home ice advantage in the first round. Because you need every advantage you can get in the first round, because it's going to be Florida or Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
The Leafs' first-round opponent has been determined in, before Christmas, almost every year of the Matthews era.
I think that's probably most teams that are playing, aren't they? And most teams that are good.
That's the one thing I don't really dig about this playoff format.
That's the one thing? There's many things.
It's the top thing.
The 2-3 in your division doesn't make sense to play. You should seed it by 1 through 8. The forcing your division mashups it's a weird decision by the NHL.
The second and third best teams in every division, and one of them goes home.
Yeah. You have them play in the
Right
middle
away.
of the first round. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to know what the hell the Leafs are about to do, because I assume they're in Edmonton already because they play there tomorrow.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to have 3 days off because just before we started recording, we found out the game against the Flames is postponed. And then Saturday they have the Canucks and their first ever game against the Seattle Kraken.
Would they move that Flames game to just like Tuesday? Could they just do that?
Before Christmas?
The 21st.
I think due to the CBA. Yeah, they could. I was going to say they need some sort of break because of Christmas, but
the Christmas break is the 24, 25, 26.
They got that Blues game there.
And it's on the same road trip if you just move it to the end of the road trip.
You could do that, but then you're on the road, like actually not at home for over a week then, which
8
is
days.
tough.
They're still going to have to try to figure it out. At some point, it's gonna be not a pleasant thing to postpone.
Well,
it sucks. It'd be better if it was like Ottawa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then you can make it up
Yeah.
easier. But they have to fly across, North America to do this game.
Yeah.
I'm just going to flag this. I'm not trying to be a pessimist, but the Olympics are in greater and greater doubt for the NHL. And the reason I flagged that is there are a lot of postponed games that are going to have to get made up. And the trade deadline could get moved up, I think, as much as like 3 weeks. Because if they don't end up going to the Olympics, they're going to have to completely redo the schedule. I'm pretty sure they have a break in case of emergency schedule for if they don't go to the Olympics.
Yeah. Well,
can you move the schedule? Because I know you got like concert dates and all that stuff. Can they just move the schedule like that?
They're going to have
That's
to
crazy.
try.
Yeah.
Because what is everyone just going to get 3 weeks off?
Yeah, because the Leafs are I think every NHL team is basically off in February because you have the
Pretty much.
All-Star week and the Olympics. So you have literally 4 weeks off in the middle of a season.
it's bizarre.
It's terrible.
I saw Thomas Drance suggest why not, instead of going to the Olympics, have a World Cup of Hockey in February.
Well, I think Gary Bettman suggested that. But the problem is no one fucking cares.
I'd care. But you're right. There's one.
The way the NHL...
So there's one.
Yeah, you care about some of Europe again? Oh, I can't wait for that hot final. Great. Super fun.
I want to see a gold medal,
Yeah, man. The
Yeah.
Olympics mean more. Like, I don't care what anyone says.
Oh, it
the
totally
Olympics
does.
mean more.
I hope they go no matter what.
Yeah,
but force it.
Here's the problem, though, and Jeff Merrick raised this on Saturday night with the Olympics, if we're going to talk about this.
Sure, let's do it.
Alex Pietrangelo has said, I'm not sure I'm going. He was one of the guys that they named right off the bat. He said, I'm not sure. I'm totally not sure.
Well,
And the reason for that is because if you test positive while you're over there, you're there for 3 to 5 weeks.
3 to 5 weeks.
So not only, let's say you get there at the beginning of the Olympic Games, you're there for the opening ceremonies. You test positive halfway through. That means you could be there 6 weeks or 7 weeks.
What if you test positive at the end of the Olympics?
100%. You're there. And not only does it put your team that is paying you in jeopardy, because you won't be there and you're going to be one of the best players on that team because you're at the Olympics. The NHL doesn't owe you shit. If you test positive and you're away, the NHL does not owe you money. And I think it was Merrick that was reporting on Saturday that the IIHF has a fund of $5 million set up for that potential. And if one guy, we know how COVID spreads, right? How fast it is. It could be 6-7 people like that, like nothing.
Tom Wilson's, the big suspension he got where it was 14 games, he lost like over $1 million. So what happens if Connor McDavid, for example, misses a month of hockey?
And the IIHF's not paying for that. They don't care.
And also,
it's not their
if
contract.
One guy gets it, the odds of it. I mean, how many guys did the Flames just announce? 6?
Yeah.
Do you still get your game checks? Like if you test positive at the Olympics, they've said you don't get your game checks?
The NHL's not our problem.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if like ownership of your individual team, I don't know if they would have the option to do the right thing.
I don't think that they do. Here's the problem is that the NHL wants to. They don't want this, guys.
No.
They don't want this. So they're going to try to make it as unappealing as possible. They don't want it. They've said they don't want it. They're like, we don't want this. We had to do it, but we don't want it. And so that's why the NHL is going to step in and the owners are going to hold the line on this. Even if you did have the option, all the owners are going to say, no, because we're holding the line for every owner. Because what we don't want is players going over and getting injured in international competition and then being out. And that's akin to what this is. And I think, listen, I'll be honest with you, straight up, with the questions I have about the Chinese government right now and forever. I wouldn't want to be stuck in China for 3 to 5 weeks being held by a foreign government either. I wouldn't want to be stuck in the United States being held by the American government. It's a foreign country. I have no rights there. And I don't blame these guys. Like Pietrangelo said this. He's like, there's a lot of things with guys with families. Like I've got, what did he say? He has like, I have 4 kids under the age of 3.5.
Alex Pietrangelo has 4 kids?
For me to be potentially locked up there for 5 weeks, it's a long time to be away from my family. I don't blame him. That's a lot of kids.
That'd be torture.
Yeah. Yeah. Like what kind of internet access are you going to even have? What are you going to eat? Where are you going to stay? All that stuff. Who's paying for that?
No idea.
Right? And then you're going to give up, like Pietrangelo is making $9 million a year. $9 million. Let's say it's $1 million that you were to lose. Let's say it's Pietrangelo and he loses $1 million. You will never get that back.
What does CJ always say? It's 200 days. That's what your pay is based on?
Yeah.
So let's say you miss 30 days.
Okay.
Here's me doing quick maths. So you're going to lose 15% of your annual salary. So he makes $9 million.
About 1.25 million, something like that.
1.25 million plus you take home $300,000 for every million that you make.
Yeah.
According to Frank Zecca.
Yeah.
You're losing a fuckload of money, man.
You're losing a lot of money.
Wow. Yeah, that's CJ has been on this story, and like you said, Merrick, it's not like a doom and gloom thing. I saw Twitter getting on the case of people like, listen, I have to be an optimist right now. I don't need to read all this doom and gloom shit. I've been reading it for 2 years. I can't handle it. Well, okay. It's that or I lie to you. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're going to the Olympics, man.
But here's what could happen. We could get there and it could be fine.
And it'll be fun. That's also an option. I agree. I like that. They go and it is very fun.
So, athletes at the games will need to produce 2 negative tests 24 hours apart. If they're unable to do so, the quarantine period could be 21 days up to 5 weeks.
It could be 0.
Yeah, it could be.
Because they don't get it and everyone had a lot of fun.
Could be.
And they got their very nice sweater.
And I think you do have to be vaccinated. I do think every athlete is going to be vaccinated over there. Not just Canada. I think every athlete going to China's like, nah, you're going to be vaccinated before you come here.
Yeah.
Probably makes sense.
Yeah, probably makes sense, right?
Probably can't get on a plane without it.
It's just, yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot. It's a lot to ask of players. I can tell you, like, my custody situation is a week on, week off. That's torture enough.
Right.
And it's not easy for Ev's mom either, but it's just what it is, right? That's, you have to do that. And I think, unfortunately, like the idea of a bunch of kids Everly's age, and there's a lot of them, and Petrangelo's gone for 5 weeks. That's insane.
Serious conversations.
No, my ears get hot, so I take my headphones off.
Okay. I like losing weight in my ears though.
It's also that's why it's voluntary, right? You don't have to go to the Olympics.
Nope.
If you feel like it's too much trouble, you can take 3 weeks off in the middle of the NHL season, which never happens, and recover your body and be amazing for a playoff run.
Yeah.
You have that option. Nobody is forcing you to go play for Team Canada or Team Sweden, you know?
The other thing is,
just stay at home.
Is the All-Star game before or after the Olympics?
I think it's before, but I don't know.
Is it? I'll check.
Yeah. Who's going to both?
All the guys going to the Olympics.
I mean,
you think so?
Yeah, but if you don't go to the All-Star game, you get suspended for a game, which this season in particular, I think, is bullshit. What, dude? I don't want to go.
So the All-Star game is February 5th.
Okay.
So that weekend there, that weekend,
before.
and the Olympics begin on the 4th, I believe, the 4th through the 20th.
But
So-
what is the All-Star game? It's a showcase of your
best talent.
What's the Olympics for then?
Well, that's what it is. But this is the NHL. This is the one the NHL makes money off of. Because they don't believe that promoting the game worldwide makes the money, which is objectively wrong. I get that, but that's what they believe.
I don't
know why they needed to do both.
At first, I did because I was very excited to have all this back. You got to remember, man. Like, I've been a big proponent of. I hate when people in hockey media are like they need to shorten the season. Like, okay, there are many good arguments for shortening the season. Why are you shooting yourself in the foot? This is your meal. You know that, right? What are you talking about? You want there to be 25 fewer games or whatever? What? Oh, and you're going to keep the same salary, I guess.
No.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
With your little TV job.
No.
If anything, the number of games will go up.
We
one
would.
day.
Yeah.
Hi, boss. I want to cover 12 fewer games and get the exact same salary, please. What Disney universe is this?
I can listen to that argument if it's the preseason.
Yeah. But then they'll add
I'm
regular
on
season
board
games.
with that.
Yeah.
Preseason can fly a kite. Don't care. Screw all that. But in terms of getting rid of regular season games, shut up.
The NHL is a gate-driven league. You need dates.
And
You
until
need
it isn't,
games.
you can't consider that.
Yeah.
And even then, you probably still wouldn't.
No.
And hardcore fans can argue it is too much to follow for 82 games. And I'm like, you are right. And good for you. I'm just never going to say it.
Yeah.
Because
Like 65 is probably like the comfy range for NHL season.
I think that's probably the right
but
amount.
82 is what it's always going to be. It probably will go up to like 85 one day.
Oh, there we go. Hey,
There were a
let's
couple
go.
seasons that were 84. Remember?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
After the
Yeah.
lockout?
I do.
So there was the 84 gamers. I don't know, guys. I think the Olympics, I want the Olympics to happen. Let me go on record and say that.
Me too.
But there sure are a lot of reasons for it not to. That's I think, what we need to say.
Sorry, I made half my point.
Make your
I was
point.
excited to have the All-Star game and the Olympics in the same year
Because we didn't have them.
Dude, we lost a lot of revenue, man. We had a 70-game season, like for me personally, right? Covering the Leafs. I had a 70-game season, so I lost 12 games right there. And then last year was 56. Holy shit.
It's a lot.
I had to find that money elsewhere. It hurt.
And if you're saying that, imagine what all these teams are saying.
Exactly. So I was happy, and now the closer we get to the date, I'm like, why on earth are we doing both of these things?
There's going to be some guys. So the All-Star game is the weekend of the opening ceremony. So guys are going to be going from Vegas to China.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
So I have to miss the
Opening
one of
ceremony.
the coolest parts of the Olympics.
Yep.
Fuck it. I'd lose the game over losing the opening
Maybe,
ceremony.
hopefully they give guys who go to the Olympics the chance not to go to the All-Star game, but they're probably the top players.
Gary's not going to do that.
Right.
So
It's
you're gonna get
rational
suspended.
thinking. Jesse, you're trying to rationalize
Yeah.
your way through this.
Yeah, but it's lucky he's not going anywhere. Lucky Gary
He'll be here for a
Bettman's
long
not going
time.
He
anywhere.
said it himself.
Yeah. Well, we'll
Yeah.
see. But I think here's what it is. We all want it to happen. We're agreed on that. Just a matter of, let me ask you a serious question. Would you, a father, would you, a dog father, want to be stuck in China for 3 to 5 weeks after the Olympics?
No.
With no answers on how or why, and you're not getting paid, and people are at home waiting for you, and you don't really know when you're leaving, and you don't know about how the testing's run. You don't know anything. Do you want that?
CJ presented it great on on the CJ show where he was, he talked to some guys and they have their apprehension, like Alex Pietrangelo, and there's other guys who are like, I want to play.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's beyond all rationale. It's not about rationale. It's I'm a competitor. Look at Steven Stamkos.
Dream.
Look at Steven Stamkos.
Yeah.
He
never
might
got to go.
end up in the Hall of Fame, not won Olympics. How many guys in the Hall of Fame since the NHL returned to the Olympics didn't play in a single Olympics? It's got to be a very short list, and it's just going to work out for him that way if they don't go and he doesn't make this team. It's a unique experience. You never know when you're going to suck or, your back's going to go, your knee's going to go. You just, I don't know. What
did Jerome McGinley say? One day his hip just stopped working?
I can't remember what it was, but he's just like, yeah, it's just wouldn't let me anymore. No, it wasn't me. It was Sofia Jurcevic, and I think I was holding the camera for her, so I was there.
Did you think a moment that you
I was like, I asked him. No, I didn't. I was with someone who asked him. Sorry, man. That's a lot of shit. Anyway, she asked him, because Yager was still playing, and she asked him about, if he was going to be Yager. Because he was having, I want to say he had like a bit of a career renaissance with the Avalanche. He was doing well. And he was just like, no, I have kids. It was just a completely different perspective on things.
Yeah.
He's not going out there and doing the things Yager's still playing as we're speaking.
And he's single and has no kids.
Yeah. He has a lot of freedom.
That's what he wants. Yeah, it's amazing, eh? Like what is it Bill Maher said? They're like, how did you, TV personality Bill Maher, buy a piece of the Mets? And he's like, I've never been married and I don't have kids.
That'll do it.
Like, it's okay. And also extremely successful in his own right. But you know what I mean?
I choose to remember that happened to Steve. And Steve said that.
I think it's Steve. Sorry, Sophia.
I corrected myself mid-story.
You take your Nesson job and shove it.
No,
this is Steve's interview now.
I filled in for her, and there were very few occasions where we both went at the same time. And so
I'm just bothered. It's more fun to tease you. You know that.
Definitely.
So
when the Panthers visited with James Reimer, I was like, can I do that one?
How do you guys see the next 3 weeks going with the Olympics? Does it happen?
I think it's going to be down to the wire. I don't think we're going to know until they might honestly make the decision at the All-Star game.
I think it's going to happen because I think the NHL, and I don't know how much of this has been reported on, but part of the collective bargaining agreement that they renegotiated during the pandemic was that the players were going to get to go
to the Olympics.
Yeah. So what is the contingency if the NHL goes, no, you're not? Because now the players are going, that's the thing that you were supposed to give us for us to give you the concessions you wanted.
Because the owners will be able to speak the players' language here, which is money. Okay, so you want this. You really want it. Okay, are you willing to sacrifice 3 weeks of time mid-season? Yes. Are you willing to have a more compacted schedule? Yes. Are you willing to have 5 weeks of pay deducted? I beg your pardon?
Mm-hmm. And rely on the IIHF to maybe reimburse you someday.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll be a 60 to 90 day, you have to put in an invoice.
Yeah, several of the most useless organizations in the world are going to help keep you entertained and satisfy all your needs while you are stuck in China for 3 to 5 weeks. All of a sudden, I feel like less of an Olympian.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to happen, and you know what? If I'm just speaking personally, I know I've been all doom and gloom. If it were me, I would go. I would take the risk.
If you were a competitor, I get it.
If it were me, I would go. If you're asking me personally, I would do it. And I want people to be aware of but not everybody would. If I had the chance to be at the Olympics, I mean, clearly with this athletic body of mine, I was close. But if I had the chance to be at if there was a broadcasting Olympics and I could be there, sure, I'd go. Why not? Why wouldn't you want to go?
Why not?
Go compete with the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a risk. What if you go and you lose? You don't get sick, but you lose.
Oh, man.
That'd be worse in some cases.
I think you're right.
Legit.
Yeah. I think
Legit.
you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. So anyway, long story short here, it's something to keep an eye on. It's something that's going to be top of mind in discussions as we move forward here. Like, I mean, you're talking about one of the 3 players that Canada named. They could name 3 guys. One of those 3 is already saying, I'm not sure. That's a big deal. It's a big, big deal.
It's a huge deal.
Hey, how's your sleep been lately? It's kind of an important question. A lot of people ask it, and you kind of shuffle off the answer like, it's been fine. Is fine good enough when it comes to your sleep, which is something you do, hopefully, 6 to 8 hours a night? That's the recommendation. To sleep right, you got to have the right mattress. To get the right mattress, you got to get a mattress that tailors itself to the way you sleep, and that's why you should go with Helix. Listen, I got a Helix mattress, and I took the quiz. It took 2 minutes, and it matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why would you buy a mattress made for somebody else? With Helix, you get a mattress that you know would be perfect for the way you sleep. And here's the other part. Sometimes, if you're lucky enough, you sleep with someone else, as in they're sleeping over. Or maybe you guys are together full time and you're always sleeping together. What about how they sleep? Well, the Helix mattress quiz kind of matches that too, which is kind of sweet, right? So you both get the kind of sleep you're looking for. If you're looking for a mattress, take the quiz. You order the mattress you're matched to, and the mattress comes right to your door. It's shipped for free. You don't have to go to the mattress store. It was awarded the #1 overall best mattress in 2020 by GQ and Wired magazine. And Helix has been recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors of sleep medicine. It's a go-to for sleep improvements. And if you just go to helixsleep.com/STP, you take the 2-minute quiz, they'll match you with the customized mattress, give you the sleep of your life, 10-year warranty. They'll even pick it up for free if you don't like it. After 100 nights, risk-free, you get to try it. Go to helixsleep.com/STP, and we're going to offer you this, $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows. You can keep the pillows. helixsleep.com/STP. Check it out. How's your mental health? Listen, the best way to think about therapy is somebody, a member of my family who's a gearhead said, you tune up your car. When was the last time you tuned up your brain? And it's kind of always stuck with me, right? I love cars. I love my brain. Who knew, right? Great one. And that's the thing. We go to the gym, we work out our bodies. Therapy is a workout for that. It's making sure that you're taking care of the health that protects your health. Your mental health, it's where it all starts, and BetterHelp can help you. Here's the thing. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions for you and your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to, if you don't feel comfortable. It's also more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Why would you invest in everything else but not your mind? This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Go to betterhelp.com/SDP, and you'll get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/STP. Look after you. So we'll move on. I want to talk about this Tortorella thing. So obviously last episode we talked about Zegras and that goal and how amazing that was and how he flipped the thing over. So Jesse, I sent you the original, in the second email I sent you the original Torts clip that everybody's talking about. And then the other one is one that's making the rounds that is an extended 6-minute sort of bite.
Tweeted by Arda.
Yeah.
I tried with this one, folks. I did. I saw the clip. I saw the first 20 seconds, and I just said, listen, everyone, because I saw it starting to take off. I'm like, there's a clip going around. Don't share it. Just starve it. Mm-hmm. And it didn't work.
Well, I don't think it will. So there's a couple of
not
things.
that I ever thought it would, but
I want to discuss a couple things with this, though, because I think there's some relevance to... There's a lot to take out of this, actually.
Sure.
Other than that, it's an opinion I objectively disagree with. And I think you would know that if you listen to this show. I love showmanship. I love theater. It's great. Torts is probably not your guy, right? Not everybody's your ally. Torts is probably not the ally of this is exciting hockey. Look at how Columbus played. But it worked for him, and it's whatever. So, Jesse, let us know when you're ready to do that clip, and I would love to hear this thing one more time.
So you want the original one?
The original
not
clip
the
for now.
6-minute one? Sure.
Do I shut up or do I say pause at certain points? I can shut up. I'll do it.
I think you shut up and let this part, and then during the 6-minute clip, which we can skip past the Torts part on, during the 6-minute clip, then we can stop and start. Is that fair?
No, all right.
It's tremendously skilled. For Sonny Milano, even to yell Michigan in the middle of a play in a game is skill. That's a skilled play. My position, though, is it good for the game? Like I hear Ray saying all the kids are doing it now, okay, in practice and stuff like that. I'm not so sure. And again, I don't I'm not trying to be a fool here, but I'm just not so sure it's great for the game. If you did that back in the 2000, late 90s, 2000, you get your head taken off. It's cool, it's cool to watch and all that, but I'm not so sure it's good for the game. And I stand by that.
50 have said if they were on your team and they did that.
Yeah, I'd have a talk with the people. I would after the game. And again, I'm not trying to be difficult about it. It's fun to watch. It's really cool, but I just think I think our game has gone so far away from what the game should be. A hard game, an honest game, and it's almost gotten too showman. I know you need to have it. You need to sell the game, but I'm just, I'm from the ilk of it's still a hard game to play, and a good, honest hockey game needs to be played. I think some of this stuff here, we get carried away.
But that's good for the game, though. The fact that it's been viewed that many times.
Yeah.
The fan that we're trying to attract.
Yes.
Is the casual fan.
But I think you're losing fans, too. I think you're losing other fans also when you're attracting others towards this stuff.
Okay, now you hear the deadness
I made it.
of the room. You did it. Congratulations.
I almost didn't. I speed wobbled there at the end.
So what do you want to say? What do you guys want to say? I want to hear what you both have to say.
For someone as brash as John Tortorella to state his opinion so sheepishly, he knows what he's saying stupid. And he says, when he goes, I stand by that, I question his authenticity. The more I watch that clip, I'm like, someone told him to say that. He's not this stupid.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Unless he is.
Do you agree with that, Jesse?
That somebody told him to say it?
I think that's pretty authentic.
Well, there's options. There's two. I see. He's this stupid. Someone told him to say a stupid thing. Because it's a stupid thing. There's no opinion here. It's stupid. So either he said a stupid thing or someone told him to say a stupid thing. Those are the two options.
Do you think he's just doing it for TV? Like, he might have made that decision just to have take the other side just so he can get a reaction.
Listen, he's certainly not embracing the villain role. That could have been so much more compelling television to me. Like, if he were like, it's like,
no, but
say it with your chest.
If he comes out and he does the Stephen A. Smith thing, then it doesn't come off as authentic. This comes across as authentic because he's a little ashamed of it. But this is his true heart, and he's getting it out there.
Like, genuinely, you believe we're losing fans?
Yeah, I don't think he believes what he's saying. I agree with you on that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because it's based in nothing.
Yeah. Because who's not watching the game because of that?
John, let me throw this out there. Good. If we're losing, if we gain thousands of fans
and lose a couple
and lose hundreds,
net
positive.
Plus minus.
Yes, John.
Does he know how math works? Yeah.
Yeah. John, you allow 4 goals and score 5. Who won?
Right.
Yeah, but you're still allowed 4.
You're still allowed 4, as we complain about the Leafs losing to the Blackhawks.
Because what he's saying doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any. No. But when he does, so here's where he's definitely telling the truth, though, that he would talk to the guys after the game.
Yeah.
That's why I think everything he says is authentic.
Yeah.
Guys, I have to tell you, I understand where you're coming from, and sometimes in this profession, you step into a role that you're not necessarily totally comfortable with, so that it generates conversation, right?
Yeah.
The whole point is, one side takes one side, side takes the other. And when it comes to like nefarious things, like, is a hot dog a sandwich or not? It doesn't really matter. But when it comes to stuff like this, he said some things there that I think are pretty authentic to the way he feels, and how I felt listening to that is the same way I felt listening to my parents talk about our generation in my 20s and how much softer we are. Not much, like, or how much, different we are, or how much, you don't know what it was like.
Well, Adam, wasn't it better when people would try skilled things, they were assaulted?
Yeah. Well, so this is the thing.
Wasn't that better?
When he says our game, that's the key point in that for me. Whose game?
The olds.
The olds. So here's what happens.
But not
everybody.
all the olds.
I want everybody to know this.
I'll stick
I want
up
you to know
for the
this.
fun olds.
Okay. Yeah. No. There's the fun olds. But at a certain point in everybody's life, the thing that you loved that you're nostalgic about passes you by. Mm-hmm. And that era no longer exists. That can be when you were in a band like I was when I was a teenager. It could be when you had a really cool car in the beginning of your 20s. It could be a really great run you went on in your career with a bunch of people that you loved. And then, some of them got promoted. Some of them left the company and it's not as fun anymore. All that stuff. That can all be true. But what Torts is saying is that the game is objectively worse because of this. That's what he's saying. And I do believe he believes that because I don't believe he's able to step outside of himself and go, the type of fan that the NHL is trying to attract, the type of player that is coming up through the ranks is not the type of player that they were trying to go after in the past.
You know what could have made the conversation so much more compelling? Is if he explained that he genuinely thought that, but that also he knows he's wrong. So he's like, why do I think this?
Because you're old. And beyond that,
is it because
he didn't explain his point very well.
He just said a bunch of old guy
when they
stuff.
came back and they asked him a question, he kind of like sunk into himself further, and he said like, "I know, I'm not very popular for this," and then he didn't defend his point in any way.
You ever do something dumb in school and your teacher makes you explain yourself and you don't? You can't defend yourself because you just I don't know.
It wasn't a good conversation on like his behalf.
So here's what I want to say. When I tweeted this, I retweeted this video from Sportsnet, and I said, I'm not sure John Tortorella's commentary is good for the game. Because he said, I'm not sure it's good for the game. I'm not sure his commentary is. And here was my point. I wasn't going after John personally, but to what Jesse just said there, I think he absolutely fucking nailed it. What is the debate? People were tweeting me. They're going, well, it sparks debate. What's the debate?
Also, no, it doesn't.
No, but seriously, like what debate?
The debate is whether or not
the clip is highly
good.
shareable.
Like the Zegras goal is good for the game.
Right.
I guess that's what people are debating, but nobody's debating the other side.
So then let me ask you this on top of this, and you're a producer, Jesse. Steve, you're a producer. We're all produce content here. Is that a type of debate on an intermission show that's going to keep people compelled and glued to their seat? Or are they going to get up and make a sandwich? That is a get up and make a sandwich segment. Yeah. It's dead before it starts.
There was no debate.
There's no entertainment.
No.
And here's the problem with ESPN and TNT, guys. They don't have anybody under 40 on their panels.
Arta's under 40, I think.
Okay, Arta.
Okay. I'll defend you, Arta. No, it's...
But guys, like, look at everybody's old. Everybody's old. We're trying to get young people. We got old people on... Get some young blood in there. There are people, I get it. I know that there are people rinkside and that sort of thing, but you got to work your way up from rinkside to get into the studio, don't you know? How about some new voices, please?
If you're not regularly disagreeing with each other. They can be old voices that disagree with each other.
Totally.
At least.
Like, the TNT panel's perfect. But the TNT panel hasn't, the TNT panel for basketball with Shaq and Charles, those guys are funny and they're relevant. What John Tortorella did there was make his job and what he says irrelevant. That is the worst. It's not whether it's bad or is it good. Are we apathetic about it?
But you know what? Those guys, for as fun as they are, they say some old shit too.
Mm-hmm. But it's endearing.
Guys.
It's not irrelevant.
Sometimes.
But sometimes their whole shtick is just to go after the new guys.
Yeah.
They wouldn't exist in the 90s.
This isn't like when I played.
But
But
is it fun? But is it fun?
Generally.
Yeah.
Generally.
Is that
They're
fun?
always having a good time.
No.
This was a bad conversation.
That's a crime against broadcast, that segment. There is no excuse on that level that an intermission show should be that good. All the production staff, if I was the head of content there, I'd be like, guys, bring it in. We're revamping this whole fucking thing right now.
All publicity is good publicity? No. It's
I would never watch that.
For anyone trying to get into broadcasting, that's a lie. By the way, that's a lie.
Tortorella, he doesn't seem like he's that great of a broadcaster in his coaching career.
So I'm going to throw this out there. That's because that is John Tortorella. What you watched.
Yeah.
That's John Tortorella. Because he's not... Like when people meet me, they're surprised I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs and turning purple. But I'm not like that every moment of every day. That's authentically John Tortorella. He's, here's my thoughts on this and whatever. The best of clips of John Tortorella, you're not going to get that on TV. He's genuinely angry in those clips.
You have to make him mad.
He's mad at Larry Brooks.
If he was going to deliver this point, he shouldn't have delivered it sheepishly. Like he should have delivered it like he's fighting Larry Brooks.
Yeah.
Maybe there's
Stephen
some,
A. Smith.
Like, I don't know.
Stephen A. Smith feels like he's going to attack you as he's giving you his argument, and you still love him for it.
It's also just not a great point at its core.
No, it's true.
Where you can defend it. I don't know. It just doesn't work.
I read a book it's either about or by, it's been a long time, Ralph Mellenby, who's one of the guys who basically started Don Cherry in broadcasting, and we can talk about the many problems of Don Cherry. But one thing Mellenby did to start Cherry as a broadcaster is there was a segment where Don Cherry goes, yeah, I think the Leafs are going to make the playoffs and blah, 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 and it was part of a discussion. And when they got off air, Ralph goes, you never say you think. You're Don Cherry, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Someone needs to have that conversation with John.
I think you also there's a lot of work
or
to go in there.
You got to at very least have that conversation with John, and he can take it or leave it.
So here's the thing. To that point, Steve, he could have said that and made it compelling. Whether or not you agree with it's not about us agreeing with John Tortorella. It's about an argument that makes sense and actually has something to back it up.
I like stuff I disagree with that makes me laugh.
All the time.
Yeah, but I didn't laugh at that. I was just like, Jesus
It's
Christ.
depressing.
Yeah, it was depressing.
We're losing people in our game.
We're losing fans.
Oh, Jesus. Well, let's get the casket out. NHL. Let's bury it in the ground. It's done. Like, come on.
No.
This is what I'm talking about. It's criminal that ran on an American national television broadcast. It's criminal. It's ridiculous.
But it's the only opinion like it that I've seen.
That it's
Which
not
doesn't
about
make
the
it
opinion.
good.
It's about the lack of entertainment value. For me, I don't care. I could care less what his opinion is. Is the segment dead? For the first two, and by the way, when you're doing a segment, you have to catch people, and Jesse knows this from broadcast. You have to catch people in the first 7 seconds or they're basically gone. Mm-hmm. You don't catch them in the first 7 seconds. That's what the research shows. They're dead. They're dead. You didn't catch them in the first 30. And listen, we're going to move on here to Ray Ferraro, who doesn't start talking to, I believe, a minute 40 into the segment. Most people are gone.
Right.
So you want me to skip to a minute 40?
If you don't, I believe it's about minute 40.
They're not going to not watch the game anymore, but they're, like you said, making a sandwich.
They've tuned you out. They're in the bathroom.
Yeah.
They're looking at TikTok, whatever.
I will say for like headlines, for example, last year, I'd have to go to the bathroom at intermission, but I'm not going during headlines.
No, headlines was spectacular.
I'll hold it. And the reason I'm not picking on 32 Thoughts, it's because I'm working.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't been able to watch because I'm working.
Yeah. Ray, can you believe I got to deal with this guy too? I mean, one of the
things we're not used to seeing because the whole point of the game is to get more than the other guys. And so, I mean, would I have ever tried that? No, because when I went to go pick up the puck, I would have shot it into the back of the net. I didn't have the skill to do it. So these kids can do things that we couldn't do. Like, how about a guy going in and shooting the puck between his legs? Like, when we played, first of all, you wouldn't have done that because there would have been some big guy roaming around that wouldn't have been very happy with you. The other thing is we weren't good enough to do it. So I think we're in an age where we're going to see things we're not used to seeing because these kids are better at it than we were.
Yeah,
and that's just the way it is.
What a great point.
Well, we'll sit face to face and talk about that, Ray. Because
Torts, I can hardly
Maybe
wait.
that'll be a future topic on the point. So
Will
I
there be a camera?
Coach Sonny Milano, obviously. I asked Torts,
there isn't, who cares?
What would you have said to both of them after the game? He gave his opinion. I asked Ricky, and he said, I probably would have taken a run at both of them if that was tried on me during my games. But what if they were your teammates, Ray? Like, how would you have reacted, whether you were on the bench or on the ice, if you saw that happen before your eyes and they were your teammates?
Well, and they scored? Well,
Yeah.
I would have been pumped. I guess what I wouldn't have liked, or I would have made me sit up, is if you make a careless play because you're trying something that's a little bit out of the ordinary, it makes everybody stop because it just looks different. If he would have flipped that puck out behind the net, Milano misses it, it's a 3-on-2 the other way, and they score, well, the coach is probably going to have something to say about it.
Pause it for a second. Pause.
As long as you're not
That's like saying, hey, when I get in the car, if I hit somebody, it's a problem. Like, that's just, you're going to the absolute fucking worst case scenario there. By the way, Ray's made a bunch of great points, but you're like, well, if he flips it and it goes completely the wrong, if he flips it and it goes 200 feet the other direction and goes between the goalie's legs, then Zegras scored on himself.
Ray, by the way.
Like, what is that? What are we talking about?
Ray generally, though, has a gift.
He's amazing.
For being like, there's this camp. I'm aware of this camp, and here's the things that camp says.
Yep.
I'm aware of this camp, and here's the things they say. Here's what I think.
I love that.
Somewhere here, somewhere
and he's
there.
doing it there, but I'm like, dude, come on.
He's doing it there, and like to me, the Rick Tocchet thing, like that's just honest. It's true.
Sure.
He would have, because the rules were different. And with Ray Ferraro, the rules were different.
Other than Biz, who on any of these panels is like a relevant voice?
Wayne Gretzky.
This isn't. This is ESPN, not TNT.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Well, isn't Biz TNT?
Yeah,
Biz is TNT. No, but like on any of them.
On any
like Gretzky's. Yeah, I know he's Wayne Gretzky, but does he say anything? You're like, wow, Wayne sure said something. Yeah. Wayne is not known for being the most charismatic guy.
I mean, the two. It's not like I get to watch the American feeds a ton, so really the only two. And here's an interesting point. The only two clips I've really seen from American hockey coverage are both Torts being aggressively wrong, because there was this, like and I can't remember what the other one was.
Like the Matthews clip when they were talking to him when he was skating around the ice and they asked him what his favorite restaurants were in the area.
That's neat.
Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah, but like those clips made the round too. But like we're not in the States, so and why would we keep up with the
panel also?
Okay, let me throw this out there. Remember, we've talked about like the whole. Okay, we have a holiday special coming out where we have our best of clips.
Sure.
And we talked about like Wes McCauley being like the pinnacle of funny in hockey, and how that's just a really damning,
sad.
It's a condemnation of hockey. Talking to Matthews about restaurants in Scottsdale, I don't fucking care.
Really, if it's a local Coyotes game, I care.
Yeah, but really, really unpopular. Like, because a lot of people thought that segment was fun. I heard CJ talk about it. I don't care.
It was way more fun than what else was going on, Steve.
Well,
it's a hell of a step up.
Then Jesus Christ.
Let me throw this at you, okay? So they asked Rick Tocchet. What would you have done? Rick Tocchet last played in the NHL in 01-02.
Yeah.
He has coached 3 teams since then. Guys, these are not relevant voices.
Yeah. Isn't it great that guys can do that now? Because, like, you know, it's not, you can't just beat people up because they did something you can't do.
Do you know, okay, I want everybody to do, if you disagree with me, fine. But go look up what people said about the dunk in basketball when it first happened.
Oh, really?
Go look up the articles about the dunk and what dunking and how it was going to ruin basketball. Oh, the free throw. Now that's entertainment. The jump shot. Woo! That's entertainment.
Do you have a more relevant example?
Well, that's a great example, wouldn't you think?
It's a legal way of scoring. They're both examples of legal scoring in their respective sports.
By the way, people fucking hated it when the dunk came, when it really became a thing. Hated it.
I think, okay, how's this for an example? The shooting from the logo.
Shooting from the logo.
Shooting from the logo, because it's traditionally a low percentage thing to do. And if you miss, everyone goes, what the fuck are you doing? But when they hit it, it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the Michigan.
It's Merrick Malik. It's Merrick Malik in the shootout.
The Michigan has such a low success rate in the National Hockey
But
League.
maybe one day it won't.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where I think people, like, if you fail at it, you do look like an idiot. Right?
Do you?
Yeah.
Or do you look
I
like
don't
you
really
tried
think
something?
you do.
Hockey's a game of failing. Most of what you do in hockey, most of your plays fail.
Also, more players should try it, by the way, because lost in the Trevor Zegras clip is when he tried to lift it. Colin Miller comes down with his stick like he was trying to, like,
chop his hands off.
Like in William Wallace.
Yes.
And just trying to, and it should have 100%. Try it, because if you don't score, you'll at least draw a penalty. You can't do that. So how do you defend it? I don't know. Figure it out. But slashing's a thing, and you can't do it.
The body, which is the original thing that a defenseman should be doing. They should be angling the body off. That's how you stop
it. What if Colin Miller gets his hand in front? Is it slashing on Zegras?
I don't know.
Also,
it's an interesting conversation.
When the Zegras thing happened and the day after we came on the podcast, I played you a side-by-side of Datsuk doing this 15 years ago.
Yeah, no one was like, no. Pavel Datsuk is bad for the game.
Nobody eliminated Pavel Datsuk from hockey.
But that's because Torts was coaching.
Pavel Datsuk is on a very short list of Russian and European players who no one really picked on. Like, in terms of, like, I don't remember negative narratives about Pavel Datsuk.
No.
Because he was sick. They called him the Magic Man. Like, okay. Datsuk's play where there were two guys on the Sharks and he got them to collide into each other.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time in hockey where because Datsuk did that, someone would have dropped their gloves and beat the shit out of him. It's better now.
I like this better.
You used to take a dump in a bucket and throw it out the window into the cobblestone street below. We don't anymore.
And that's why men walked on the outside and women walked on the inside. Because the likelihood of getting hit with it was more on the outside.
And I know at the time, like when toilets became popular, someone was like, "What's wrong with a good old-fashioned bucket?"
Bucket dump.
What's wrong with
I miss throwing my shit.
This generation is so soft with their toilet. What's next? You have to clean yourself every time you drop a plop as well?
Wait a minute. You could do that inside now, too? I don't have to jump in the river?
What's with this whole bathing every day thing? Guys, like,
baseball,
not all progress is great, but most of it is.
Baseball had this problem for the first, 150 years of its existence, where if you hit a home run, you're supposed to put your head down and jog around the bases. And if you celebrate your home run, then you get beamed with the ball your next at bat. And largely in the last, 5-ish years, the reaction to if a pitcher actually hits a guy after he hits a home run off him, it's, hey, don't allow the guy to hit the home run. Don't get mad at the guy for hitting a home run and then celebrating. And largely that's gone away. And I hope hockey goes in that direction where all the younger generation comes in and they usher out the old guys who just hit guys with baseballs because they showed up on the field. Just allow celebration, allow sports to be fun.
Can I just remind you of something? Years ago, and this might be like my mom's basement when we were doing this. Okay, so it's a long time ago. Don Cherry got on TV, and we're talking about another dinosaur, obviously. Jesse, this is pre-Jesse Blake on this podcast. How long ago this was? He gets on this, and he gets mad at the Leafs for running up the score on another team. And he said, you don't do that. You don't disrespect people, especially in their own building, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is whatever he was spouting off about. And he said, you just don't want them to come back and get you the next time. And my point at the time, and I think we were talking about this, was, okay, so fucking what? You're in the NHL. Am I here to support your feelings?
No.
Or am I here to win a game and guarantee I win the game?
You know what that is? The Leafs, when Darryl Sittler broke the points record, they did it against his Bruins and their backup goalie. And then Don Cherry would put it up in the dressing room, the typical bulletin board material. This is probably the birth of a lot of it. And the Bruins didn't lose to the Leafs for something like 3 or 4 years.
But the Leafs sucked.
But, well...
The Leafs were terrible in the late 70s.
There's that, but there's also what worked for me is now the rule.
Right.
It will work for everyone. What about the new rule, which is get good?
Yeah.
The new rule, okay... Don't run up the score. Used to be a thing, and that's fine. The past was the past. The future is get good. Sucks to suck, get good. But that's soft. That's the new way, and it's soft. Telling you to get better at what you do. I'm confused.
It is confusing.
It was also a free square on the bingo card for, coming up right now is the World Juniors. And after the World Juniors, after the first couple of days, it's Saturday night, and Don Cherry would yell because Team Canada beat Team Japan 10-0, and he would be upset that these kids scored 10 goals on this country. And then
for different reasons, though.
Yeah, every year he'd yell about it though after it happens, and it's move on
because it would be don't embarrass them because next time they'll come back and beat you. Is the NHL version of events, but Team Japan is not coming back and beating them.
It's just show respect.
Show respect.
Yeah.
Have a mercy rule.
Yeah, just let them quit.
Have the softest thing in the entire world, which is a mercy rule.
Put the white flag in.
And you can't celebrate any of the goals after 4. Every year we get that same story.
Serious question, Jesse. When you were playing AAA ball, if you hit a no. If you hit
a long time ago.
I was 14.
Yeah, but if you hit a dinger, would you be allowed to celebrate?
I never hit a dinger over a fence
because
in
you were
my
a pitcher,
baseball
right?
career.
Yeah.
But you still got to hit. It's
Yeah.
kid's ball. But I never hit a ball over the fence.
Okay, all right.
But if a guy, we had guys who could hit home runs consistently and stuff. But like when a guy hits a home run when you're 14, you come to the plate and you do the whole thing. Like
you celebrate it.
Like you hit a walk off. Basically, you go to the plate and you give them the high five. You don't jump in a huddle and celebrate like all that. But
but you're 14. And it's impressive.
Your whole team comes out and you do the high fives at the plate when a
Okay.
guy hits a home run in minor league.
There was
baseball.
There was a play recently where Josh Morrissey two-hand slashed someone who scored on an empty net, because the Jets love to take a run at you when the net's empty. And everyone's like, yeah, but he celebrated in his face. Are you a child? Keep your hands to yourself. Holy fuck.
Win. Simply win. Then this isn't a problem.
Like, okay. I wish if you film a fight, you have to keep recording after. Like, there's all these like videos on the internet of people getting into fights at bars and this guy beat that guy. Okay, keep the camera rolling for the part where they're both arrested because they're adults and you can't do that. You can't just beat the shit out of people. Jesus! How am I having to say this?
How did we get here?
Anyway,
Dude, I know. I was just thinking that.
Ray Ferraro did make some really good points there, and he goes on to make some really great points. I think it's a shame that it got lost, but the reason it got lost is because the first half of that segment is so dead. It's dead, and that's the clippable part. Is that it's just a
dude? It happens on this podcast all the time. I have no sympathy. We'll have a 2-hour show. And if I say one dumb thing, that's the thing that's highlighted. And whose fault is it? Mine.
Oh no, I don't worry about that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
No, it's just
no. He doesn't feel sympathy for them for that clip going viral.
Nor do I.
Yeah,
nor do I.
Like,
I don't feel sympathy. I think if I'm in the production staff, I'm going. I better fix this.
Yeah. Or maybe I shouldn't say no sympathy, but like it's not surprising to me that the most outrageous part of the segment is the part that got put on the internet. I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's how the internet works. It's a highlight reel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The next segment, or like the next day, whatever the next game is, you should make John Tortorella explain himself, and you make it fun.
He probably did, like, because this was a couple days ago.
And
I don't know what happened.
Compile a bunch of skill goals and play a game with Torts called Fun or Not Fun.
Get beat up or let him play.
Yeah.
Beat him up or don't.
Yeah. Here's Ovechkin with the hot stick. Fun or not fun?
Yeah.
Explain. Here's Datsuk doing this play. Fun or not?
Punch him in the face or let him play on.
Guys, a lot of this too, and I'm not accusing Torts of this, but with Cherry, I would absolutely say this is the case. A lot of the game that came over from Europe in the 70s and 80s was far more skilled than the North American game at the time. The North American game was really rough and tumble. The Soviets, the Swedes, the Finns, everybody that came over, the Czechs that came over, they were skill guys. Mm-hmm. And so what they were labeled as was soft. And so this is just want everybody to know this has also got roots in we don't like you because you're not born here.
Yeah, Canadian hockey, in quotes, is supposed to be rough and tumble hockey where you beat them up.
It's here, Reddit / unpopular opinion. Canada should have absolutely lost the 72 Summit Series.
Yeah.
They broke the Russians' best player's leg because this guy's scoring on us too much. And Bob Clark said, "You're right." Whoa! And that was the end of Russia's best player. Go to jail.
No,
What the penalty box? Go to jail. You broke a man's leg.
It's weird that doesn't make it onto shirts like Paul Henderson's goal, isn't it?
No.
The Bobby Clark slash 72.
Like, imagine your favorite team is winning a series, and someone on the Leafs comes and breaks your best player's leg.
Austin Matthews.
And then for the next 40 years, Leaf fans celebrate that victory over your team. You'd be a little bitter towards them and want to beat them every single time, right?
The violence in hockey is kind of dumb.
It is kind of dumb.
I like tension. I like a little bit of I like people getting in people's faces. I like the hitting. I like all that. But like what Steve said, and here's the thing. He tomahawked, and here's the thing. In Canada, people forget that happened, but they all remember the Russian player that kicked Esposito. They all remember that, which is objectively dangerous too, because he kicked him with a blade. Yeah. But all the same, we forget that a guy's had his leg snapped in the height of his career, the most competitive series we've ever seen.
I think biggest problem with hockey is that that unpopular opinion is unpopular. Don't break people's legs on purpose. But it was the 70s. And then it got what? Better. Hockey got better. I'm sorry. It just, that's what it is.
I don't know, man. I like where the game's going. I like it.
I think it's pretty good.
More Zegras, please.
All this because Zegras did things that people used to not be able to do. You know?
Mm-hmm.
The Russians could do things the Canadians couldn't do.
Yes.
Like skate around because they didn't smoke between periods and
Well, maybe they did. I don't know.
Maybe they did.
But they spent.
But they were more fit smokers, I guess.
Have you guys ever seen that Red Army documentary with Fetisov when they talks about it all?
No.
Oh man. Okay, so first off, you need to watch that. I'm surprised hockey people like you guys have not seen this.
There's a lot of stuff.
This one's but this one you'll love because it talks about what the training regimen was. Those guys were away from their families 10 months of the year.
Yeah, which
like
is
it was
its
bananas.
own problem.
Yeah. The Soviet system was a problem? No way. Wow. The takes are hot today.
Take that, Biden.
And I think
mean?
you got to see. I think you got to see it because it's a fast. Just as an aside, that Red Army documentary is amazing. It's an amazing hockey documentary, and also at the end of it, you see how like Slava Fetisov is now back in Russia and like the head of their sport, which is also crazy. I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah,
had no idea. He seems like a guy you wouldn't want to mess with.
I saw a tweet the other day. It was like Sergei Fedorov does it again, and I was like, because he's, you know how Patrick Waugh, when he was a coach, he popularized pulling your goalie with 5 minutes left or whatever.
Yeah.
Sergei Fedorov's thing as coach is pulling the goalie in overtime.
Yeah, so you get to play 4-on-3.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
It's worked twice.
Yeah.
I think.
They've won 2 games with their goalie pull.
Yeah. It's a smart strategy because of all the loop backs with the 3-on-3 when guys circle back. You can really control the puck. So if you're doing one of the loop backs and you bring your goalie out and then you get the 4th guy in and then you just enter the zone, it's a great strategy.
If Babs was doing it, it'd be Tavares, Matthews, Riley, Hainsey. Be sick. Would have been amazing. How did we miss that?
And if I'm not mistaken, in the KHL, it's 2 points for an overtime win versus 1 for an overtime loss. So they're probably looking at it like, well, we're getting a point. Let's go for the extra.
Yeah. Isn't that kind of what you're doing in the NHL too?
I don't know.
I think
but a regulation win, I should say, is 3.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I
like
have a
that.
3-2-1 system, I believe.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think it's fun. I don't know. That just seems like a fun thing to do. It'd be probably 10 years before the NHL adopts it, but I'm sure they will.
So anyway, good for Trevor Zegras.
Should we get into the press conference?
Sure.
So I've been hearing about this company, Stance, known for their socks. They're the official casual sock of the NBA, and they are the official sock of the MLB. They got both casual and uncasual with the MLB. So, I mean, good for them, right? They're moving up in the world. Here's the thing. I tried them. I love them. They're great. They're great socks. I think here's the thing about socks is that, you get your boring old socks. Usually you get them at the holidays. You're like, thanks, Nan. I really appreciate that. And you do. You use your socks every day. But why can't we have good, fun, form-fitting and socks that are going to actually, survive the wash? Well, here's a great thing, too. Stance also has a line of athletic apparel that you've got to check out. Tons and tons of great quality items. Stance's whole focus is comfort, quality, and creativity. It's about being comfortable, and it's about fitting right. Stance believes the perfect fit matters more than fitting, and that's why we want you to see for yourself. So if you register an account at stance.com and get 15% off your first purchase, use the promo code ATHLETIC. That's it. Checkout. It's ATHLETIC. Use the promo code ATHLETIC, stance.com. Enjoy the color and comfort of a life less ordinary with Stance.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
Look out for a new episode of Agent Provocateur tomorrow around noon.
Yeah, this is a big one. This is a big guest. This would be famous-wise, Jesse, would be the most famous guest we've ever had, right?
Yeah, in terms of just fame.
Worldwide fame.
Yeah. This is the most famous person.
The idea that we could have somebody with some worldwide fame is pretty great in and of itself.
More famous than Edge.
Definitely more famous than Edge. Well, maybe not definitely, but very famous.
It
and for a
depends
long
on the
time.
circle.
Yeah, it depends on the circle. And that's fame always depends on the circle too, right? But this one is, I know Alan is particularly excited about this person because this is a person that he absolutely loves and has respected for a long, long time. So we're very excited about that. Noon tomorrow. And the list that we have coming up of guests that are potentially going to be on the show, which I cannot reveal, there are some enormous names. Very, very excited about what's going to happen next. It's going to be great. Okay. Jesse, first question.
Steve, what were you looking up?
I'm pretty sure the guest was on an episode of The Muppets, but I'm not actually sure.
Okay. Cool. Maybe he was. Hey, you know what? Bonus points if you can figure it out. There's been a lot of guests on The Muppets.
I was trying to find it. No, never mind.
Okay.
No, they have been in the same room as the Muppets. Different.
Okay, there's really only one thing I want to talk about, and it's something that happened Sunday morning. Adam, I know you missed it live, but a big race went down on Sunday morning, and it ruined my entire day. It ruined my entire Sunday.
Did you watch it?
Yes, I watched it live.
Okay. I know this was a big deal.
I
don't know anything about F1.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know what happened.
Adam, do you want to break down what happened? And then I just want to talk about why this is the worst thing that's ever happened in the entire world.
So the last thing that you want in any sporting event is for the officials to get in the way and decide something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to imagine that it's like the WWE and Stone Cold Steve Austin is going up against a young Rock or something, like a young up and coming, like he may be Rocky Maivia, that young. Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. And Stone Cold is the established 7-time world champion going for his 8th. And Stone Cold stunners the Rock. Okay. But then the ref comes in and kicks him right in the balls. And then
I think this happened.
And then
you might be describing a storyline in WWE.
And then takes a chair and hits it over his back, knocks him cold.
Whoa.
Knocks him out. Stone Cold is Stone Cold at this point. So then The Rock gets up and puts one hand over Steve Austin's shoulder, and the ref 1, 2, 3s him, and he's out. And I want you to imagine that you have waited 9 months for this. That is what happened in Abu Dhabi Sunday morning. To explain the rule, I'll be very quick about this because it's a bit confusing. But when you have, in Formula One, you've got teams that are so good that they'll do a full lap around even the 3rd and 4th place teams. Like, they're so good.
Wow.
There's 20 cars, there's 10 teams. Mercedes and Red Bull are so good that they can lap a Ferrari and lap a McLaren. Like, they're that fast.
Gee.
And the teams this year it's really just been Red Bull and Mercedes and then everybody else. So what happened was Nicholas Latifi, who is a Canadian, who races for Williams, objectively one of the worst teams in F1 right now. They've been bought by another consortium, so they're probably going to have bigger budgets next year. Tried to pass one of the other worst teams, Haas, which is the American-Russian, believe it or not, combination team. They basically, he made a risky maneuver. They're in like second last place and dead last place. And he spins out in a hot corner, and his car basically takes up half the track, so they have to shut the race down and bring out. They have what they call a digital caution, where you have to decrease speeds by 40% and you can't overtake anybody. And
do you want to track back and explain the entire what's happening on Sunday and why the race is important?
Yeah, so the race is important because Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen are tied. And I'm sure you caught that, right? Do you mean that?
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of people who don't know.
Oh, they don't know
what was on the line on Sunday and the entire season that led up to this one last race and why it was must-see television.
So they were tied and it was the last.
Tied to a 0.5 of a point.
And whoever wins this last race wins the championship.
Yeah. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And Lewis Hamilton does not get, out of qualifying, does not get pole position. He comes in second. So out on the first corner of the race, Lewis Hamilton, right off the gun, passes Max Verstappen.
And all season, they've been 1 and 2 going back and forth.
Back and forth.
Last race of the year.
And then Verstappen pushes him off the track, or whatever. Lewis drives off. There's a bit of a controversy in corner 2 in that first lap. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to remember, these are neck and neck. And Lewis is the big-time champion. Max is 24 years old. Okay? 36,
Lewis
24.
has won how many years in a row?
7 in a row.
7 in a row.
Yeah.
He's going for number 8 in a row.
Sorry, not in a row. Nico Rosberg won in 2016.
Oh, there he has one in between there. There you go.
But Lewis won one with McLaren before he went to Mercedes back in 2008. So all of this is happening. This is the most intense season of F1 we've ever seen. And frankly, sometimes it does come back to the final race, but like I remember Lewis Hamilton won once coming in 5th place. Or Sebastian Vettel won once when Michael Schumacher let him pass and he was in 3rd place or something.
It's never really been close for Lewis in this run.
Not for this run.
He's usually had like it locked up by the second last race, and the next 2 he just needs to kind of get in there.
They're kind of dead races. Kind of like, it's just nice. We're gonna parade, and somebody weird's gonna win because no one cares anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
But this time, obviously, it comes down. So now we're in the last lap, 57 to 58.
This is the last lap.
Well, the crash happens on lap 54.
Oh.
So then what happens is the pace car comes out, and Lewis Hamilton at this point is up 21 seconds over Max Verstappen.
14.
Was it 14?
14 seconds.
Oh yeah, sorry. Because I got Bottas and whatever mixed up with Verstappen because there was a whole bunch of thing with that. Max has had brand new tires put on his car. Lewis has tires that are 26 laps old. And there are 3 cars between them. There's, I believe it's a McLaren, a Ferrari, and an Alpine or something like that.
Cars that they've lapped.
Yeah.
These 3 guys, in between 1 and 2, there's 3 cars.
3 lapped cars.
And Lewis has a 14-second lead, and there's 4 laps to go, and it's just like, okay, he just needs to finish this race. And then that crash happens that Adam describes, and then they go into caution.
So the pace car comes out. That allows the entire field to catch up with Lewis. But if you're a lapped car, you can't overtake the pace car and come back around and sneak up behind you.
You can't pass people in caution.
Yeah, you cannot pass people in caution. That's the rule. So the FIA, which is the governing body, allows the 3 cars that were lapped to go around and unlap themselves, and Lewis on old tires and Max on brand new tires.
And the only reason that Max has those new tires is because they went into caution. And when they went into caution, Max is like, okay, I'm just going to pit and get new tires because I can't.
You can do that?
Yeah, you can pit in caution and get new tires. But Lewis didn't pit and get new tires
position
because he would have been behind Max because you can change in the pit. So if like he's going to pit, then he's going to lose time and then he's going to fall behind him. And then the race is going to end under caution. He's going to lose the race. So he's just like, I'm going to stay out with my old tires because I'm ahead of him in the race. It doesn't matter.
So what happened here, Steve, is that essentially Max was able to change his tires and not lose his position because what the FIA said beforehand was, no, there will be no passing in caution.
They told them as soon as it went to caution,
no passing.
That we're going to exit this and there's going to be Lewis and then the 3 cars and then Max because that's how it was when you went into caution with the 14-second lead.
And then midway through, 2 laps later, they decide, well, we don't want this to end in caution. We want this to end as a race. So they don't follow their own protocol, their own rules. They literally break their own rules. They let the cars unlap themselves, and Lewis and Max go into the last lap, and Lewis's tires don't hold up, and he slips on the first and he handles the first corner incorrectly. Max passes him and wins.
What were the reactions?
Well,
pandemonium.
Pandemonium. So first off, what you need to know is everybody was cheering for Max.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Dutch expats in Abu Dhabi. So it's like Tom Brady. Like a lot of people are going to cheer against Tom Brady. He's still the fucking GOAT, but people are going to cheer against him. So there's like 3 sections of just insane orange fans just waving the flags. Bananas.
It was like a home race.
Yes, 100%. But beyond that, what happened really was that the FIA didn't follow its own rules because they wanted to have a dramatic finish. And let me be on record. When we had Saskia on the show, you guys remember Max Verstappen racing for Toro Rosso at the time. I said, he's like 17 years old. This guy's amazing. I've been a Max fan ever since. But Lewis Hamilton was robbed yesterday. Absolutely fucking robbed.
Well, it's like being up 4-1 at the end of regulation and they decide the game in a shootout.
It literally.
That's exactly
that's what happened because they didn't tell Mercedes if the decision was that they were going to let the 3 cars in between them just pass all of a sudden. Tell Mercedes at the beginning of the caution so that they can just go change the tires and then you're going to start the race behind Max. But at least you have a chance in this head-to-head drag race for some reason that you want to end the championship on. But if you make the decision at the beginning of the caution that, hey, we're going to end this on caution, because that's what they told them at the beginning, then you have to stick to your own decision because that's what you told everybody. So that's what everybody made their decisions based on.
So I've given every sport a small try, right? Like I haven't tried very hard with racing. The one where it always loses me whenever I try it is when there's a crash and there's a caution. I'm like, why are they still driving?
Sometimes if it's red, they all stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Or they'll go into the pits. And the reason they keep driving is because it's out of safety, believe it or not, it's to keep the tires warm. If you don't keep the tires warm, it makes the cars more dangerous. It does.
Yeah. These are very complicated cars.
But, okay, so keep moving. Why is anybody allowed to catch up at all? Like even a foot?
It's a good question. The problem is that how do you, if you're lapped, you can't. But if you're not lapped, it's always been a part of motor racing. The problem was, and the problem still is, how do you keep everybody at the exact same track position?
Yeah.
20 seconds apart, 30 seconds apart. That's always been a part of the race. That's a variable factor.
Well, then it's over.
No, but that's a variable factor in the race. And all of these race car drivers know that.
Yeah.
There's variables in hockey too. That's like, well, if somebody gets injured, why do we keep skating? It's the same thing. It's a variable that happens during the race. So that part of it, I completely understand. But what you can't do is go into a caution if you're going to have one, and say nobody can unlap. Okay, you can unlap
at the last second.
You cannot do that. And it's funny. Joss Verstappen, who's Max's dad, who is a terrible person, by the way. Terrible
I don't
person.
know. Is he?
Oh, yes.
I don't know.
No. He's the worst kind of sport parent you could even imagine. This is a guy that when Max came second in a race in the middle of winter, he left him at the gas station. The kid's 10. No, and there's also a ton of abuse allegations against women he's dated. He's a terrible man.
Oh, it's not.
He's no.
Shit.
No, he's abusive.
Oh, God.
There is no other way around it.
Okay.
Max has admitted as much anyways, this guy
This
guy comes out and says, and I don't know why he's allowed on the paddock. I don't get it.
Right.
But he comes out and said, listen, if it wasn't for that caution car, we wouldn't have won.
Well, yeah. You were down by 14 seconds.
They admitted it. They said we would not have won that race. Hamilton dominated. Mercedes dominated the last 10 races of the season. Mercedes deserved it. And I'm a Max guy to the core. I love Max. McLaren's my team. I love Max Verstappen. But Mercedes deserved it.
I was standing in my living room at 8 a.m. and I was pointing at the TV and I was yelling. And I turned to my girlfriend turned to me and she's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, she didn't understand. She was waiting for I think her mom to pick her up, and she's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I almost had tears in my eyes, and I was like, "It's not fair," is what I yelled. She's like, "What?"
Yeah,
because it just wasn't fair for the sport and the guy there to just have a championship robbed at the last second, and because the officials decided it.
Well, and I think
nobody beat him.
Michael Massey, unfortunately, he's like Angel Hernandez in baseball. Ugh. He likes to insert himself, and you can hear the radio transmissions back and forth. He's like Toto Wolff. The guy's name, the team manager, by the way, for Mercedes is Toto Wolff.
Nice.
And he's 6'7", and he's handsome as hell. I would let Toto take me to dinner. I'm telling you.
He's a race car driver?
No. He's the team principal.
Oh,
he's the general manager.
I was like, how does he fit in the?
Yeah.
Okay.
And anyway, and you hear him on the thing, and he's German, right? He's like, Michael, this is not fair. Michael, this is not fair. And Michael Massey's like, Toto, it's a motor race. We wanted to let him race. And people, and high-profile F1 people who, and F1's different, right? As an F1 fan, you don't usually a lot of F1 fans do this, but the narrative out of the sport is the drivers all respect each other, the teams all respect each other. Yes, you're competitors, but you're not going, fuck that guy. You're going, I'm really frustrated with the way he drove and it was super dangerous, but I respect him. They always do that. Michael Massey steps in and absolutely shreds them. He goes, this is a motor race. This is what we're going to do. And he managed the end of the race. And everybody's like, it's for Netflix. It's for Netflix. It's not for Netflix.
Yeah, that whole meme was too
bullshit.
Much. Shut up.
No, it's not for fucking Netflix. Believe me.
Netflix isn't making the decisions for the FIA.
Yeah, it's just that. And listen, there's a lot of Tortorella F1 fans who are pissed off.
Watch the show.
Yeah. There's a lot of Tortorella people in F1, gatekeepers, who are like, I was here before that. Right. Yeah, man, me too. I want more people to like the sport. It's more fun.
It made me into a fan.
Yeah. So, but all of that to say, I lost my point a little bit there, and I apologize. My point in all of this is that this is objectively a guy that should not be in that position. And we see it in the NHL all the time with questionable officiating. Michael Massey likes to put himself in the middle of all of these decisions. Sometimes he's right, sometimes he's wrong.
He thinks he's a part of the race.
And he's not, exactly. That's the point, is for safety. Yeah. His job is to create safe conditions.
Right.
That's his job. Let the racers figure it out. Follow the fucking rules, Michael. That's what it needs to be. And I wanted Max to win, but Lewis deserved it.
So, okay, as a not F1 fan who doesn't really understand the characters or how any of this works, I agree that it sounds like Lewis Hamilton was robbed, but I think someone else who was robbed here is Max. Because shouldn't the winning should be a joyous experience. Mm-hmm. Winning is a victory that you should be able to look back on.
Clean.
Mm-hmm. And if the winner doesn't feel like they won, then what's the point?
Well, Max definitely feels like he won.
I thought you said he didn't.
No, that was Joss, his dad. And Joss still feels like he won.
Yeah.
He's just saying, listen, it would not have presented itself had the FIA not done what they did.
I think Max looks at it like, oh yeah, I got the benefit of the FIA, because that happens, and it's happened so much over the last couple seasons where the FIA inserts themselves and they make a decision, and then somebody wins based on this regulatory call.
But I don't understand how Max, someone can take pride in a victory.
Max could make the argument. Yes, you can. Trust me. If you watch the whole series, you could.
He's like, I won.
Listen, and also at the beginning of the race, Lewis Hamilton got away with sneaking off the track.
Yeah.
When Max basically beat him on a corner. And so Max had to go like this around a corner. Lewis went straight.
Is that what's
and they're like, and Max is like, he's going to have to concede that position. And the FAA was like, no, he gave some time back. It's fine.
Yeah, no, he should have had a penalty there.
Oh, so they're just kind of bad.
Yeah. That's what we're 100%. Trying to say is they're bad. You're bad, guy.
You're bad.
So
basically he thinks, well, I would have been fine had they called that correctly.
Yeah, I think so.
No, but like when people made that decision, I was like, but a whole race happened in between that.
Right.
You know, that was on lap, I think 2, right? Mm-hmm. It was on like the third turn or something.
Out of how many laps?
56.
Yep.
58, 56?
Okay. 56.
56
58,
laps.
58. No, you're right.
58,
my bad.
Yeah. A whole race happened. So, but also like that decision didn't cost you the championship. One happened right at the end where a guy was up 14 seconds and then the caution came in and you let the other guy pass him.
And you had like an equipment advantage.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. In F1, a lot of teams do have equipment advantages. It's like the EPL, right? There was no salary cap. There's nothing. So you got a team like Mercedes with a $500 or $600 million budget, and then a team like Williams with a $50 million budget.
Yeah, but like one had new tires, the other didn't.
Right. Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like you were describing.
Yeah. No, you're right.
The safety involved with they have to keep moving.
Yes.
So they just didn't care there.
And here's the problem it creates. But I do think there's a good thing that comes out of this, if you believe it.
Okay.
Here's the problem it creates. Mercedes, you go to corporate head office. Okay, your Mercedes corporate head office, and Mercedes has benefited enormously from their involvement in F1. The prestige of them winning, they've won every. So there's a drivers' championship and a team championship. They still won the team championship. Ooh. So their two drivers were still objectively the best two drivers. Mm-hmm. So they've won every team championship since 2014.
Wow.
Yeah, they're on a run. It's
them.
Crazy. So if I'm Mercedes and I've got this deep relationship with F1, I would go to them and say, okay, so what are you guys without me?
Oh, you just...
Because, now you wouldn't do that, but I would, you go to the boardroom behind closed doors and you go, so let me just I just want to, what are you guys without me? Because I could just pull my money. And yeah, you can have Ferrari, whatever, but everybody knows we're the best. And so they're the ones that spend the most too. And remember, money talks in this sport. Now, next year, everybody's moving to more of like a salary cap system. So there's an amount of money you can spend on the car, amount of money you can spend on R&D and tire, like whatever else, right? So that's, the drivers won't be capped, but I believe the amount of technology will be capped, and the car is completely changing. So what I think is going to be cool about this is there's going to be a lot of people out there, Jesse, who say Max Verstappen did not deserve this. Even though he's a great driver, even though he's amazing all season long, he had more victories and more poles, more overtakes, everything.
Most poles in history, was it not?
I'm pretty sure. He was unbelievable this year.
Yeah.
But there are going to be people out there who say he didn't deserve it. So he comes out and he's going to be on fire. Then you got Lewis, who's like, I want my fucking 8th championship because Schumacher had 7 and I won 8.
Right. So this would make him the winningest F1
driver of all time.
Wow.
And then, but he's also Lewis has won over 100 races. The next closest is in the 60s. Like he's already the best.
Yeah, it's not a question.
But it's a championship
But
thing.
the 8 versus
100%. And how would you feel? I would feel the same way. So then, on top of that, and this is where it gets great, you've got a brand new car. They are actually, from the car this year to next year, they are literally removing components. There are things on the car this year that will not exist on next year's car. They're changing the aerodynamics. So the question will be, did Max deserve it? Is Lewis good enough to keep going? And for the entire field, who's going to benefit from the changes? Is it the veteran guys who've been there before, who have seen massive changes? Or is it the young guys who might be more flexible and okay with change? And so there's a whole bunch of things. I think, believe it or not, this isn't popular, I think that the way that ended, even though I would never want it to end that way again, doesn't affect the credibility of the sport. I think it generates more interest.
Well, so I was thinking as a non-fan, if I'm going to jump into this, I'm going to I'm going to watch the series. I'm going to get super invested, and I'm going to cheer for Lewis Hamilton and against Max.
I don't think you'll see it necessarily that way. Although Lewis Hamilton's a real class act, so is Max. Like, they're likable people.
That's fine, but one of them should have won and the other didn't.
Yeah, but you'll also see, Steve, the other side of it is, okay, so how fair is it that Lewis Hamilton has won, 6 of 8 championships now?
Yeah.
With a budget of $500 million when everybody else, the next closest is maybe Ferrari with 500, and then like Red Bull's got 300, and everybody else is like 150 million.
Like,
how fair is that?
You say that, but I don't think you would jump into the sport and start cheering for the Patriots. You wouldn't start cheering for the Yankees. That's what Lewis Hamilton is. He's the big guy that everybody's trying to take.
He's the big evil villain, even though he's not.
I think you would watch it and you'd be a Max fan.
Yeah,
because that is something I'm like at my core against.
You like the underdog.
You don't like Tom Brady?
No, and you shouldn't.
Right.
Like, it's weird that people get into it and they're like, all right, the Pats are my team. Oh, like, are you from Boston? No. Do you have any connection to the team at all? No. I just like winners. Like, oh. Like,
I don't know, man. I don't mind a winner.
I 100% look at it that way. Like, I love when the winners win.
I like now you got me rethinking, because I do like watching.
You wouldn't cheer for Lewis, though, if you got into this objectively.
I like an underdog, but I also like the story of all-time greatness. Mm-hmm. Brady has been a heel for so long that I wanted him to win.
But if Brady Brady does shit, you go, God damn it, Tom, it's so hard to like you sometimes. Like, he seems like a nice guy, but then he's like, I'm going to wear a MAGA hat. And then he seems like a nice guy, and then he's like, there are 4 types of water, actually. Like, you're like, okay, Tom, I don't eat strawberries. Okay, Tom. Like, what was it? Pete Blackburn, I think, tweeted it out. And Pete's from Boston. And he said, Tom Brady would be so cool if he wasn't so fucking weird. Right?
Yeah.
Whereas Lewis is really that great. He's a good person. He cares about causes. This is a guy that did not come from a rich family. Like, his dad his dad's at every race. He dragged him out to every karting race around England when he was a young kid. Literally rags to riches. Amazing story. So I think you'd like Lewis. To me, the team to cheer for personally is McLaren, because they're on the upcome. They were 7th or 8th a couple years ago. They finished 4th this year, and Ferrari is looking awful weak. They're looking awfully. And I think when this car changes over, I think McLaren's going to be they're going to be a force, man.
You know who
Norris.
Steve would hate? The guys who their dad buys a racing team.
So the Canadians.
And then they put their son as the driver.
Oh, you told me about this.
Both Canadians. Yeah. And it's not okay. So Lawrence Stroll owns Canada Life.
It's
the insurance company.
Oh,
yeah.
And he's a billionaire, and it's amazing. You see him in the series, and he buys it from an Indian billionaire who unfortunately, I believe, was caught up in fraud charges.
The money wasn't there anymore.
Right. So the team was called Force India, and it was India's first team. There's a source of national pride, and then, of course, this guy has to sell it, so it sells to a consortium, and then Lawrence Stroll buys it, brings his son over. He bought the first team his son raced for, then sold off his portion, brought Lance over to this team, and Lance is a pretty good driver. He finishes usually just out of the points. Like he's usually like 8th to 12th. That's nothing to sneeze at. And then he brings on, and this Lawrence Stroll's brilliant. He brings Aston Martin back into the sport. Aston Martin was a big F1 player, and then they backed out. So he brings Aston Martin back in, brings in a former champion in Vettel. Like there's a lot of, and then Latifi, he's there because I believe Lavazza, he's connected with Lavazza, and they're one of the main sponsors in Williams.
Yeah, and they want him as their driver, so they put him. It doesn't matter if he's the best or not. They want that guy because that's their guy.
There's a Chinese driver who is now going to race for Alfa Romeo next year, and they booted an Italian for this. But the Chinese driver apparently has massive sponsorship dollars behind him.
The sponsor came in and was like, we got $1 billion, but we want this driver. So they've had to put that driver in. And that side of the sport gives me like
it's a little bit, I'm
a little standoffish
Sergio
with that
Perez,
I don't like it.
Yeah, all of them have backers coming up through the minor. Like I know Sergio Perez is backed by a Mexican billionaire. That doesn't make Perez a bad driver. Right? He's a very good driver. That's why this billionaire backs him. But in some cases, it's your dad.
Yeah. I look at sport, and I look at like the North American sports mainly, and I look at guys who they come up and they're scouted based on their talents. And that's how they get to the league, and that's how they get these $1 million contracts because of their skill and their training and all that stuff. And in F1, there's a lot of, hey, this guy can bring in money for us, for our team, and make our car faster. And I didn't realize until like watching the series and getting into the F1, a lot of it is you win by money. It's like spending money is like a skill in the sport of F1 because you can put more money into your car, into the mechanics and all that. It's not necessarily just driving ability. It's okay, we have the driver and we got money to build a cool car. So like I don't know, that gives me a little pause, but like it's fun.
There's a guy that you should, if you're interested in getting into this, a guy you should get into is Josh Revell on YouTube. He's got almost 300,000 subscribers, and he'll have like Guyan Zhu is the guy that's going to race for Alpha. It doesn't mean he's going to be a bad driver. It just means he's got some serious money behind him.
F1 FR?
And yeah, essentially that, but he doesn't do it all the time. It's like a few videos a month, but he does massive views on each of them. And it'll be things like Nikita Mazepin.
What does he get? I like feeling bad.
Like Nikita Mazepin video. Nikita Mazepin's a bit of a hot point. I'll talk about that in a second. 885,000 views on that one, but that's out of the ordinary. Some of them are about 3 to 350.
Oh, okay. I don't feel that.
But Nikita Mazepin.
It's a lot though.
So there's basically a racing legend in North American sports, Gene Haas. So Gene Haas wanted an American team, and this German guy, well, actually Italian, but Northern Italian guy, so he seems German. Gunther Steiner, Italian, comes in and says, Gene, I think you should buy this team, and it should be the American team, and I'll manage it. And they do really well for a couple of years. They run like mid-pack. You're talking finishing 4th or 5th, major sponsorship dollars coming in. But then all of a sudden, the bigger teams start to sort of pull away, and they can't catch up.
Right.
And they're lighting like $50 million on fire every year.
That's so much
They're running
money.
a loss of $50 million. So they have to go find money. And what do? They go get Michael Schumacher's kid, who's got some financial backers, obviously, and he's a good driver. He won F2. And then they go get a guy named Nikita Mazepin, who in F2 wasn't very good. And he's still, good enough to race in F2. It's like saying an AHL hockey player's bad. They're not. They're amazing.
Yeah. No, you're being ridiculous.
You're objectively good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're bad amongst the best.
Yeah.
They're still really good.
Yeah. But Nikita Mazepin's father is the owner of like a mega oil company, and they're now the major sponsor of the Haas team, which used to be Team America.
Oh, finally, a driver I can cheer for.
And now they're
all right.
And now they're Team Russia.
Love an underdog.
Now they're Team
Let's
Russia.
go.
Now they're essentially Team Russia, but Russia's not allowed to be represented because they've got an international ban right now.
Oh.
So it's the driver from Russia, and they call him Nikita Mazepin because he always spins out. Yeah. Now the Haas car is terrible this year. They saved all their money for next year. We'll see. But I don't know if Nikita Mazepin's good or not. I don't know. The car's never been good enough to really know.
You're getting me into this,
dude. You got to get into it. And part of Jesse, I totally agree with you on the whole like a made driver versus a driver that earned it. Mm-hmm. But I would also say that part of the fun is watching some of these guys. You're like, you really objectively don't belong here. It's crazy. Yeah. Like, I don't know how are you here?
You got a rich daddy.
Yeah.
It's like throwing an ECHL player onto your top line.
Yeah.
Here it is. Because he's the owner's son. Just some dude.
Dave Tannenbaum
does happen.
Dave
is now playing first line center for the Leafs.
By the way, Jesse,
Matthews, second line center.
just a thought. So you didn't.
What?
I just want to talk about your Twitch stream for a second.
Oh my Jesus!
Okay. And I got a question at the end of it, but can you tell everybody what happened?
Did you sign your son?
I did not.
Oh,
Jesse, what happened?
Waffles did not play for us.
What happened, Jesse, in the final season of your career? 2 Stanley Cup Finals, 2 L's. Then you're in the second round. What happens?
So yeah, second round last year of our Buffalo Sabres rebuild. We're going up against the Tampa Bay Lightning. I knew it would be tough because they still have all of their stars, even though they're kind of aged out. They're still really good, and Vasilevsky is probably the number 1 goaltender in the game in terms of like he's still progressing. He's still in 94 or whatever.
he'd probably be only like 30.
Yep.
Yeah, 34-ish, 35, I think by 2026. Game 7, we're up 2-0 at the end of the first period, or midway through the first period, we're up 2-0.
I've seen this before.
We blow that lead. Go 4-2, middle of the second. We have the Keefe speech second period. We're only down 2 goals.
You did your best.
I tried my best to rally the troops, and we come out third period, 2 more goals by the Lightning. Game ends 6-3. We got a bonus goal for shits and giggles by the end there, but we did lose. Our rebuild is over. The Buffalo Sabres rebuild I've been running on Twitch for like a month and a half now has ended. 5 years, blew up the team 5 times, 0 Stanley Cups, 1 Stanley Cup appearance, 1 Stanley Cup Game 7. That'll be our magical run. That's what's going to go down in history in the fans' eyes. But at the end of the 5 years, if we didn't win the cup, we would be fired, and we were. So I was fired. I was let go as GM of the Buffalo Sabres, and my AGMs, the Twitch chat, were also let go. Everybody was writing their resignation letters in the chat as the stream was ending. It was very funny, but it was also very sad because now, this coming Wednesday on Twitch, I got to do something else. I got to rebuild another team or play a different game.
I think I have an option for you. Just as a thought, you don't have to do this.
Okay.
Jesse said he likes a winner, right? Jesse says he likes a winner.
Okay.
So here's my suggestion, all
You have
right?
to win every year.
Take the Stanley Cup winning team and keep winning.
What do you mean?
Well, okay, so Tampa's won twice in a row, right?
Yep.
So let's say that Julien Brisebois just can't be the GM anymore. He's
Okay.
he just comes to work one day and hands in his resignation
A
and
Russian oil company
Sorry.
comes in, buys the Lightning, and makes you the GM.
Yeah.
Because I'm their son.
he just writes it, I can't even, and then sign Julien Brisebois.
Okay.
So you take over the Lightning,
Ah.
and you have to 3-peat.
Oh,
And then you have
that's a
to
good one.
4-peat. And because here's the thing, the bar is already you've won.
Mm-hmm.
Try to do it again.
It's good.
Do you like it?
It's good.
Or like a top 5 team. Keep them
It's good.
Get them over the hump. Something like that.
So no rebuild.
You started from the bottom. Now
Yeah.
stay at the top and keep building, right? Because that's the trick. How do you keep it together?
I was thinking our beloved Toronto Maple Leafs need a couple trades. See who I win the cup with the Leafs.
I think that could get heated. Could get very heated.
I don't know. I was also thinking about doing a different game in between or a different mode. Maybe I do be a pro for a couple seasons and then go back to rebuilding maybe the Lightning.
Could do that.
I don't know. I haven't decided. I got to do something on Wednesday. I got to see what the people want.
Maybe we put it to a vote on Discord.
Yeah, let's do that, or tweet us, or let's do it on Discord. There's a SDPN live channel where we do stream suggestions where you can tell us what to stream.
I also don't hate you like trying to rebuild another team like the Coyotes. The rebuild is fun. You can get behind that.
Yeah, a lot of people wanted an expansion team.
Oh,
So a 33rd NHL team. I think you can do that in the game.
I think that's easier. I think the Coyotes are a mess. I think you want to clean up a mess. Expansion, it's like you get to start fresh. You at least start middle of the pack. The Kraken may not be great this year, but they're not the Coyotes or Buffalo Sabres.
The Kraken also won 2 Stanley Cups in our stream.
Oh.
Like over the course of from 2021 to 2026.
How
I
many
think the
times-
Kraken's got 2 cups in there.
How many times did the Blackhawks go to the final?
3 appearances?
That's unbelievable.
2 or 3. I think it's at least 2.
EA.
Yeah. And
Guys.
just every year at the top of
Come
the
on.
standings. Every year. I think they had 3 President's Trophies. Like, EA loves the Blackhawks, and it's a
Oh,
shame.
boy, do
Because
they
it's
ever.
been going since 2012. Like, that's how just
Oh.
EA games have gone. Just
Why
the
is
Blackhawks
that?
are always amazing. I
Well,
don't
they
know.
were good for the first part.
Yeah.
But they haven't been for quite some time, and the game just hasn't adjusted.
No.
Okay.
Sleep at the wheel a little.
I mean,
let's be honest.
Jesse, you were up 2-0 in Game 6.
I know.
Damn it.
You were up 2-0 in Game 7, and then the following year you were up 2-0 in Game 7. Are you sick to your stomach?
Yeah. We couldn't do. I think I was doing a post-mortem on the team at the end. I think it was goaltending. I think that was a blind spot for me. Luukkonen was amazing for us that cup run, but I think I could have got like the Vasilevsky or just the top goaltender, whoever's in that league, just trade whatever offensive talent I got. Maybe I had to move Timmy Stutz for Vasi.
Let's see what the rich oil baron who just hired you in Arizona thinks. Like, let's see. Yeah. Can Jesse get the goaltender? If that's where you think you went wrong, can he get the goaltender of the future?
Adam, when are you going to race me in F1?
You know what? I got to get it all set up down here, right? Because I got to get the equipment.
Be in here, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it makes sense that it would be in here, right? It's the studio. Jesse does it from his home studio. So
we need to figure out a setup and a schedule for Red Dead streams.
Yeah. And Jesse, what I would like to do with you too is because you can do a cooperative season on a team.
Oh, that'd be fun.
So we could race together, and we could start the worst. We could race as like Williams or Haas.
Can we make our own team?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, you can add an 11th team to the field too.
And then we're the two drivers.
Yes.
And Steve's our rich daddy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll be your daddy.
Team Dangle. Team Daddy. Team Daddy.
Steve can name it, and we can be Team Daddy, and you're the rich guy. And then
can
we
I
race.
design everything that goes on the side of the vehicle?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we should race as a team. That'd be fun.
That'd be great fun, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, Jesse, it's been so entertaining because I go back. I never get to watch the streams live, but I love to go back and watch them. They're so fun.
Ugh.
The crab people, shout out to you. Flipping amazing. And
you got to hit the button.
On the stream deck.
Yeah, you got the stream deck going on. Anyway, it's been amazing to see our Twitch channel kind of grow, and there'll be more stuff coming in there. And I think, Steve, we are waiting for the Red Dead.
I need a few things. I need to know how to set it up so it looks good.
It doesn't have to look good. It can literally just be you in the corner with the game on the screen.
That'd be fine.
Yeah,
fine.
It literally doesn't. I look at some of the big Twitch streamers, and they have like a third of the setup.
Would we be able to do that with the equipment in here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, like we have the camera and everything ready for it.
Okay. I need my setup. I need a schedule.
Yeah.
And I need
consistent schedule is huge on Twitch. It's one of the most important things about
that's
building
going to be
an
difficult
audience.
for me at the moment.
I think this is going to be a big thing because 100% in Red Dead Redemption 2 is something I've never done, but it's also something that will require a checklist that people will keep track of. Like, I need a live on the screen checklist counter. Here are all the things you've completed and all the things that remain. Adam, there's like 900 things to do.
Okay, that's not going on the screen.
Why not?
900 items on a screen. What are people watching?
What do you mean?
You or the checklist?
Yeah, me.
But where does the checklist go?
Where does the checklist?
Okay, fine. I need some sort of button where I can go, I'm up to 301. I'm up to 302.
Steve, there's a lot of
your stream
a lot of conditions on this. A lot of conditions on
this.
this.
Is your stream or mine?
Oh, gosh.
Hopefully in my stream, I actually achieve my goal. Oh.
Ever played The Last of Us?
No.
I might do that on Wednesday.
Ooh, the first one or the second one?
The first one.
I heard the first one's amazing.
Yeah.
I've never played it.
It's the way it was sold to me is, well, Steve, like, you like Halo? I go, yeah. They go, but you hate the Flood. I go, oh, I hate the Flood. He's like, okay, The Last of Us is just the Flood. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to play that.
No, the storyline is what people talk about.
Yeah.
You fall in love with the characters.
They're making it into a movie?
Yes.
I think it is.
Yeah. Pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, boys, listen. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have got to go to the bathroom.
It's been 2 hours.
It's been 2 hours. Let's wrap this. I love you both. This has been a really fun show. But I have to go to the bathroom. Can we do that? Can we fire the extra?
I want to talk about, so when does Ilya Mikheyev come back to the lineup?
Actually, that's a good point. When he does come back, are they cap compliant?
Marner's out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Marner's out. Yeah,
so they got room.
They're fine. Okay. All right. Just checking.
But, like, where does he play?
Well, we'll be back Tuesday. Remember, Alan Walsh tomorrow. CJ show tomorrow as well. A little bit later than usual, we understand. You will get your content this week. Don't you worry.
SDP.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.